Check 1, 2. Do-do-do.
This leader is provided to permit the
Check 1,
projectionist to
2.
complete adjustment of focus and sound level before the film begins.
Check 1, 2. We'll just get right into it. Oh yeah, I gotta get that stuff, don't I? Turn that on. Let's get this started. Let's get this moving on. Gotta get this going, baby. Can't be sitting there messing around.
So again, manufacturing forecast is 48.2 on the prior 47.9, with a range of 49 to 47.1 expected. For the services PMI flash, the forecast is 50.7 on the prior 50.5, with a range of 52.5 to 50 expected. And the composite PMI flash forecast 50.4, prior 50.2.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? We've got a lot to go over this morning. It was a nice little...
This stream is sponsored by TickStrike. TickStrike allows you to actually hear order flow in futures, Forex.
Yeah, this stream is not sponsored by TickStrike. But hold on one second here.
So just noting as well, the S&P 500 is pairing its gains. It's up 0.2% on the session now.
Yeah, it's nice to see the bump in the overnight, but there's more to look at here. So we've got, before I get into some other stuff, let me just do one quick thing here. Hold on here. So the title of today's video is... Is this a trap? It's fascinating that... Oh, I got to do a few things in the background. I have a friend of the show texted me this morning and said this feels like a trap, and I said it is a trap. Before the open this morning, and so we'll look and find out. There's two traps here. We'll talk about both of them, and you guys know how I do things. Take the money and run on the open. Give me one quick second. I gotta do some housekeeping, some stuff for YouTube on live streams in the background. So I just need a moment. It just takes about 30 seconds, maybe a minute to get this done. Sort by newest. Custom this. I can't believe I got to do this every single show. The fact that these aren't permanent settings on YouTube is mind blowing. Save that. Do this and then do that. Okay, and I keep forgetting to do. I need to make sure I'm getting the stream link up every day. It used to be automatic, and it's no longer like that. Ever since Elon turned the world off. Let me post this.
1 minute remaining. I'll lead with the US S&P manufacturing PMI flash.
So let's just start with baseline here. Yeah, we've got a PMI flash right now at 9:45. We've got services and manufacturing. Then at 10, we've got Boston Fed President Collins speaking. 1 p.m., we've got Neil Kashkari. Then we also have Mary Daly. Neil Kashkari, known as a hawk, actually thinks or has said some very dovish comments. We have a sip of my coffee here. Hold on. So I am interested to see if they attempt to come out
10
and try
seconds.
to calm the markets, and if they think that's going to do it. If that's going to actually calm the
48.9,
markets or not.
48.9,
Now,
higher than forecast 48.2. So the service is at 50.2, 50.2, lower than forecast 50.7, with composite at 50.1, 50.1, lower than forecast 50.4. So looking to the markets, just seeing a little bit of strength in the S&P 500. The dollar, according to the Dixie, is seeing some weakness as well.
now remember, we've got a giant gap down below here. So keep this in mind that there is still this gap left behind, even with a good report here. Big, fat, giant gap. We usually come back and revisit these things on intraday. If not, later down the road. We're also going to...
So the S&P Flash PMI report is available on the feed for those interested.
We're also going to take a look at where the real, like the Sunday scaries are. I'm sure you guys will see those Sunday scaries. Where is the trap? How sketchy is it? Where is it at? We're going to talk about that this morning over the weekend. Bulls are not out of the woods, even though they think they are, likely. I'm going to guess that bulls think they're out of the woods. They likely are not. For a multitude of reasons. First off, this morning, let's take a look at the trigger screen. We'll take a look at this stuff today as well, but now if you have a excuse me. Now, just coming into Friday, today is a 0-8 Friday for a lot of tickers. There also should be some kind of a run out of the market with like closing puts, closing shorts, that kind of stuff, wrapping it up for the weekend. Nobody's going to want to be short over the weekend. Do I think there's a trap here this morning? Like a major trap? Likely no. There is some risk to the downside to possibly revisit the low and the close yesterday. So pay attention to any kind of roll to the downside. These Fridays though can be fun if we can get above the 1 and 5, have the 1 and 5 turn around. I'm not opposed to a run higher. This is a 30-minute chart right here. Some kind of a run higher here, but we got to talk about the what's behind the scenes, okay, in the market. What's going on behind the scenes in the market, and specifically this daily trigger. So after the show ended yesterday, I took off, went out, and I got home at I think 9 p.m., somewhere around 9 o'clock. And the past couple days with streaming, I haven't had too much time to take a walk around the neighborhood, right? For lack of a better word. That walk around the neighborhood is kind of going through a specific tickers in the internet with no chart or just a basic chart. Just looking around on a daily chart, a weekly chart, and a monthly chart on some of the health of the stock market tickers. What does the health of the stock market look in the back end? And one of the frightening things that I saw was the banking sector. I was looking in the financial sector.
Russian economy minister says Russian exporting oil prices seen at some $70 a barrel next year through 2026.
And then I was looking at some of the heavy hitters in tech. This was last night about 9 p.m. And just on a daily, weekly basis on some of these tickers that really do impact and hold up our market. And I was slightly frightened by the financial sector in particular. Some of the big tech names as well, and some of the rotation that's going on out there. Can they resolve themselves is the question one, right? They can. They can resolve themselves. We're going to take a look at a few of those
so just
this
as
morning.
a reminder, Canada's updated here. Expecting comments from Fed's Collins in 10 minutes' time now, the top of the hour. So again, that's Boston Fed President Collins, who's due to be speaking at the annual convention of the Maine Bankers Association, where she'll share her perspectives on the economy and participate in a moderated Q&A. So keep in mind, a text is expected for Fed's Collins again at the top of the hour.
These tickers, though, I was looking at these tickers last night, and I hadn't had a chance to really look around, like take a breather, look around the market, and just see where everything out there is at. And I'm looking at the financial sector last night, and the thing that rubbed my ass the wrong way with the financial sector last night leads back to, again, Jerome Powell. And almost like if you were a regional bank or a smaller bank, and even a credit card company, or even a larger bank, you've got Jerome Powell telling the banks, realtors, go F yourself, right? We're going to stay higher for longer. And I think that shock to those institutions, you know what it can do? It's like rats on a ship, right? I had a buddy last night ask me, what would those banks do? And he was listing off a bunch of stuff about the general public, right? Mary on Main Street or Bob on Main Street, and how they're in a bad place, right? And they're going to continue to be in a bad place over the next year, or let's say in December of 2024. And those banks being put on notice that the pain would continue. And he asked me, what do you think that those bank guys will do? And I said, they're rats on a ship. They will they don't care about the man on Main Street. They'll abandon ship as quickly as possible. If there's that much more pain to come. Can you imagine being a realtor in the United States right now? And Jerome Powell just gave you the middle finger, right? We're coming after you, right? We're going to come after you. We're going to come after, we're going to keep raising rates. We're going to hold them for longer. I don't believe that, but I'm back to not believing it again. I don't think we ever make it. I think the unemployment rate rises to a point where it starts to really impact our economy and the stock market. I think he was a little out of line saying that. So, but last night at 9 o'clock, I was watching this the stock market, and I was like, man, I was looking around in a lot of financial stocks yesterday, and it smelled like rats. Is what it smelled like. Like they would have no problem exiting stage left. Well, we don't know what's going on. As far as a shutdown with the U.S. government, it doesn't matter. If we're going to roll, we're going to roll, right? It's not going to be because of a shutdown. I went back and looked at like 13 instances of it, and the market was going up or going down during those shutdowns. So that's not going to really have as much of an impact as people wish or will tell you that it's going to. But the banking sector, that's the one where I've got my eye on them. Like, you got your eye cocked on them, and you're like, these guys over here, they're scumbags. Like, these are the kind of people that are like, you know, like, they're in Red Dawn. They're the guy that I forget the guy's name. The guy that Ranald or something like that, or Ronald Randall. He was like the mayor's son. Turns in all the Red Dawn people, and they're all like somewhat executed or something. Like, that's what a banker is. They don't care about you. They don't care about their friends. They will run at the first sight of any kind of bad news. So we'll take a look at some of those tickers this morning and where the trap is on the upside for the S&P 500. We talked about it briefly yesterday. So let's take a peek at, we are short right now, by the way. So you see this positioning short here. So we will take a look at. We already talked about rechecking yesterday's low. We already talked about the gap to the downside that needs to be filled. But we're going to also look higher from here. And, you know, I'm going to tell you what it reminds me of. I'm going to be honest with you what it reminds me of.
So in 5 minutes' time now, at the top of the
we
hour,
gotta talk
Boston
about it.
Fed President Collins is due to speak at the annual convention of the Maine Bankers Association, where she will share perspectives on the economy and participate in a moderated Q&A. So
Nope.
Fed's Collins, there will be a text expected, but there is no live stream for this event. Just as a reminder as well, Fed's Collins is traditionally a centralist, so not either hawkish or...
I'm going to turn that off. So what it reminds me of is, I think it was 2011. I could be wrong, but I think it was 2011, late July, early August. It was the first time we had a downgrade, I believe, from Moody's or S&P 500. Now, don't quote me on which one of those it was, but we had received a downgrade from them, and we had some falling markets and stuff around the world. And what hadn't happened though is we had a flash crash. And we've already had downgrades from Moody's. I believe we've had Moody's and S&P at this point, but we haven't really seen the effects of it. Those downgrades are kind of attached to these regional banks. And then what Jerome had said over this past week, you start to put those things together, and it makes you just go like, huh, right? Where we didn't really see the damage from the downgrades in the past. But now you've got Jerome taking a shot across the bow at all these banks. That's basically what he's doing, right? I think all the banks were asking for was, hey, we'll play ball for the winter, the fall, the winter, and maybe the spring and summer. And Jerome's like, fuck you, no, this is, I got charts until 2030, bro. Of course, those charts don't mean shit, but that's definitely a pick and a fight moment, right? There was definitely some fight picking going on in that speech. So it smells bad. And if you don't know that time period when we had that roll, it was really fast. I think they called it Black Monday or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it was the same setup too, right? We like blast down, come into that weekend on a Friday, everything seems fine. You wake up Monday morning and we're down 6-7%. So I think we're already down. We'll measure how far down we are. I think we're down 4-6% or something like that. But you'd be down to get like 10-12% or something like that, and make a major roll to the downside. So we'll measure and see where we are in this correction, and find out what more could come, what more blood could come, how ugly could it get. But it is concerning, and I don't think you can get rid of that concern. I'm not bearish on this or anything, or like, yeah, this is a thesis. But if you're an investor or if you're an investor or a buyer, or if you're not a buyer, mostly an investor, or if you're a seller, if you're on the sell side, or you're an investor, there is some key things you need to watch for, either before you re-enter the market. I'd be very hesitant to re-enter the market where we are right now, even if you were right buying here with size. Let's say you want to, like, hey, I want to buy some of this and I want to buy some of that. And also, tech has not hit its weekly yet. So tech has not hit its weekly, and there's a trap above for you, waiting for you on a daily basis. There is. So you need to break above that momentum that's coming crashing down on the market right now. It is coming down right now. It's still not here. And there's also so you have to like get past that and then check to make sure that momentum is behind you before you can feel confident to even breathe in this market. Okay, so we'll look at that once again this morning and see where that risk lies. So let's take a quick look at that right now. And give me one quick second here. I got to make sure we don't flip to buy because I want to buy again this morning. And we're going to go to the Weeble chart here. And we're going to go to SPX. We're going to go to a day chart. I'm going to hide all this stuff for you here. And just going to hide these drawings here. And it's quite simple to see. So just on SPX, if you are an investor or I want to put size on the market, I don't mean like date or zero dates or fucking around on an intraday basis. But if you are thinking to yourself, this is the bottom and there's no more downside to come, I want to warn you of the 42.10 JPM collar into the end of the quarter. And I also want to draw your attention to this big fat white line right here. So if you at home, I implore you to set up a 21 EMA on any chart that you have at home. Right click on it. I think every software offers this, most softwares, and create yourself an alert for price crossing. For price crossing to that line. It won't matter when it is. It won't matter if it's here. And this is your place right here. So if you're a bear, you're looking for that, right? So that you can sell this. And if you're a bull, you're looking to get over this, to even be sniffing freedom. It's like, if you're a bull, you need to actually break above this and likely fail somewhere in there, and then come back down as this white line actually reverses. This reverse here, and you're actually not you're not actually out still as a bull. You're not out of the woods unless this bounces here. So if you're like, hey, I want to be bullish on this market, I want to get back into this market, that was a great pullback, woohoo, everything is awesome, you're actually still waiting until you have the break above, get the new high from this date back here. I believe that's the 14th or something like that. And then start that continuation to the upside over here. The onus is on you as the bull to wait for that. There will be times where you would have been right buying the bottom today. But I assure you, it's not safe. And if you were to run that trade 10 times, you would win 3 of those 10 times. So it better be a winner, right? It better like pay big time for you. And be assured, I'm going to assure you that the sellers are here waiting to send you to below your weekly trigger and down here to close this gap down here into the first week of October, second week of October, something like that. So you do not want to be caught in this. You don't want to be caught in here. This is bad, right? You put 100 grand on this, you put 30, 40, 50 grand on this. Whenever you lose this money, it's no fun. It's never a fun experience. So be conscious of this trap to the upside as it comes down upon you. Do I think we can trade all this up? Yeah, I do. I think we can trade most of this up. I think we can trade likely some of this gap here. Do I think we can go up here? Absolutely. But like this stream, let's talk about this stream really quick. How this stream works. Let me explain how this stream works here, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how the stream works. All right, I'm going to show you this. how this stream works. So can you put some short-term risk onto the upside here? Fuck yeah. Does our stream do that? Some do. Most don't. Right? You take that trade higher. We take this trade higher here. Right? We're blasting up here. And assuredly, the loudest cacophony in the stream at this point right here is, hey, Cap, I'm really bullish here, and I want to get long, when they should have gotten long down here, right? So this person that got long down here, they're actually exiting right here, while the loudest voice in the room is saying, I want to get long here, right? Now, if there is a break above, right, we bounce down here and start heading up here to go higher, that would have been this guy's next entry, right? Right here. This guy right here would be getting out there, getting back in over here. Meanwhile, this guy was just getting long. He's like, yeah, I'm making money. And then, bam, he gets sent right back down. And he's at 0 or less, right, because of time decay. Meanwhile, this guy's just jumping on board. We're coming back up here. And that guy down there with this guy with the white arrow, he's just getting busy in here again, right? And the roll comes to the downside. So the roll actually comes back down, and this thing's rolled back up now. And you're actually trying to get back in down here. So be conscious of that, okay? This guy with this white arrow guy is always late to the party. So this is the time for you to put on some risk. Be aware of SPX 439144. Some kind of failure to close this gap to the upside. That's your first target. Your second target is somewhere up in here. You'll be putting risk on here and here, not financial advice. And then you'll be waiting for this blast back down, and this is actually where you put your risk on right here, right where this flat part is, that flat part, and that flat part. And you're not bullish until this reversal right here, right? That's where you enter again right there. And you do not get trapped. You do not get trapped for any reversals here, right? In that case, you're not getting sent back down to the depths of hell here. You're not getting sent back down to the depths of hell here. You're not getting sent back down to the depths of hell here. Does that make sense? You have your stops here. You have your stops right here. You have your stops right here. You have your stops right here. Make sense? So you're not actually buying this bullshit in here to get rolled. You're not buying this bullshit here. You're not buying this bullshit right here and getting rolled down. Almost guaranteed knockdowns in those zones right there. So I want to keep an eye on this as the days move forward. I'll be watching it as well. You may be wondering why I'm scared of this stuff. I'm going to show you. I'll show you a few things just quickly. Here's one right here. This Visa one right here, looking pretty sickly, right? Visa not looking so hot right now. It's coming right down here to check its weekly trend down here at 233. It's trading to 236 right now, but it's weekly trend. Usually pretty bad, right? This is the mid-May pullback for Visa. Let's just look at two prior examples. We got one where we bounced immediately here. We still haven't even touched it. This one we blasted right through. This one we blasted right through. Now, let's just be really conscious of this stuff. You start blasting through this, and we get into middle of October, November, and you start looking down here at 214, and it's not pretty, is it? Not pretty, right? I'm going to show you one other thing here really quick. So we can switch over to cycles. And we're on PMO and PPO cycles here, and the PMO and PPO cycles are not convinced either, are they? We still have the blue below the red. We do not have a signal to go long yet down below here on PMOs. So you're not seeing the reversal yet. Right, the reversal cross yet. There's no signal here to go long, is there? There's no signal right there to go long, is there? Same thing down below, right? Still on a downward decline here. Still not showing that turnaround yet. You always want to see that turn. You want to see this turn. You want that confirmation of turn to be putting risk on the market. Not seeing it here, not seeing it here. Cause for concern in the background. Or not concern, just cause for, if you were to take this trade, 10 times, yeah, it might reverse, and you might be like, yeah, I caught it early. But oftentimes, there's a little bit more to go to the downside, right? We haven't had that V-shaped recovery yet, so there's concern here. There's most assuredly not a place for you to, not a place yet for you to, what do I say? Relax your guard right now, like taking your guard off the market. I'm going to check right now and see if there's a long signal coming up. A little bit of a pullback here, but we want to see this cross right as a 1-minute chart on SPY. We want to see come up, blast up, tag, and then start heading higher here. So we'll take a look on SPY and see if that will happen. But there's two tickers. There's a whole bunch of them I was looking at last night. I was looking at VIX last night, and it's just suspect. It shouldn't be, but it is suspect here. I find it kind of unique that we're touching the 129 almost to a pin strike on SPX. No breakthrough on SPX. What's going on here? Oh, that's what it is. So no breakthrough yet on SPX. It's like a perfect pin strike on SPX on the 129, and they're not always that clean. You have the continued breakdown below it. I always like to see we don't touch it or we break through it. I don't like seeing the exact pin strike on a daily basis on SPX on the 129 EMA. It's very rare to see something like that. So I would remain on guard. I would remain on guard if you are a bull in the medium term. Short term, bullish, but on the medium term, very cautious as a bull here. Very, very cautious as a bull. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We'll have to talk about the Citadel. The Shitadel. You don't really want SEC charging Shitadel. You want FINRA to charge Shitadel. FINRA's like the one. FINRA's the one that you really want. FINRA's the, like, if you don't have a fine from the SEC, you're not a market participant as a professional. They all do. There's a website that has a rap sheet for like JPM. If JPM, if a corporation is an entity, one of the largest criminal entities, or not an entity, but if a corporation can be treated as an actual human in the United States, our corporate structure can treat a corporation as a legal, like, human entity, believe it or not, then JPM is probably the most prolific criminal in the United States. I'll try to find the website, but there's a website that's like a SEC watch type website, and it shows all of these hedge funds and banks and how many times they've been charged for and convicted for crimes, and the rap sheets are just unreal. So, Citadel, you want to see a FINRA indictments because they're the ones with teeth. They're the guys that you don't ever want to knock on your door from. No, the SEC doesn't have any problem, or doesn't have power like FINRA does. FINRA will like throw your ass in prison forever, take the key away, and you're in deep shit. FINRA is the dangerous one. They're the people that come after you for crimes that send you to prison, like actual prison. Yeah, they're the ones with like the FINRA's the guys they will fuck your day up. You never want a phone call from FINRA, ever. Like SEC, they all get calls from them. Did you guys see the hedge fund that was operating out of an IHOP in, I think, Florida? I could be wrong, but I think it was like an International House of Pancakes in Florida. Didn't you guys see that? I got to show you guys some shit. You guys want to see what some hedge funds, like, you want to see, like, you saw, there was a couple movies out there about hedge funds working out of plazas, like a strip mall. I thought that was bad. Like, working out of a hedge fund out of a strip mall is bad. As a matter of fact, we got a hedge fund where I live, and it looks just like Oakmont. It's hilarious. It looks like a bunch of Coke bros are hanging out in this place. They took like an office, a very small office park building, and then made the facade look like it was a castle or something. I took some pictures of it, but I didn't want to put it on the internet because they'd probably get pissed off at me for making fun of them. But it looked like the Oak Ridge and Oakmont shit, you know, not Oak Ridge, but like Oakmont and Oakmont and whatever. But the IHOP hedge fund that I just saw this week is one of the trashiest things I've ever seen. So we'll take a look at that today as well. That hedge fund, that in homage to Citadel. Yeah, Stratton Oakmont, exactly. That's what it was. Stratton Oakmont. Like Oakmont and Boner or something. Bunch of frat boys. So yeah, let's take a look at the market. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at the down and dirty of it. So right now, still have no cross. Had a little bit of a rejection on the half-hour trigger here. Came up on the half-hour trigger, sold the half-hour trigger. Your next target to the upside is going to be 434.56. So we'll take a quick look at this on a classic chart here. So 434.56. This is your next upside target right here, right by R1. This is going to be your hourly trigger. So that green bar will be your hourly trigger. This is your next target. We already hit the half-hour trigger, and that one was right here. 432.83. Your gray trigger right here. Let's change that up right there. Here's your first PT right here, right? We did PT1. PT2 is going to be your half-hour trigger, or the hour trigger up here. So you already tagged this one. Bam, slammed into it. Next one's up there, right? But you still have not dealt with the gap left to the downside. So we also have to look at that. So downside target. Downside PT1 is closing this gap down here. Whoop, right down there. Just trying to get that gap closed. Now let's take a peek here. You know exactly what you're looking for to go up to that R1, right? And that HT. How do you get up here? Let's take a peek here on a classic chart, right? You're at home charting classically. How do you get that new high? We already know, right? We already tagged that yellow bar, so we'll get rid of that one. We got this one right here. But you are looking for a new high right here, okay? So there's your yellow. We'll make that a yellow bar, right? You want to see just a slightly new high right there, right? You want to come back down over here. Maybe we do a little bit of consolidating. There'd be your first one. That would be your second one. That would be your third one right there, okay? Something like that. Don't hold me to this as being like exactly what we're going to do. But what do you want to see to take that trade is more important. And it's going to be something just like this right here. And you're going to be looking for price action and this cross right here. So you're looking for that cross. You're looking for that price action to come up, consolidate down, maybe slam down there, even slam down here, and then begin to make its way higher, okay? So until you see that cross, until you see the check confirmation, you've got no trade as a bull right now. So we'll watch this morning to see if this cross takes place. You're looking specifically for this red, white cross up and down in confirmation. So right there, you're looking for that. Until you see that, no point in taking a long call here. And I'll show you something else here. If you end up getting this blast down to close all this crap out, right? You're kind of going to be pissed about that, right, if that happens. And then you get the relief here, right? Then you got to cross all that crap down there, and then whoop, you're up there and you're off and running. So don't get trapped in any of this kind of stuff down here if it gets rolled to the downside. There's no need to. No need to waste your money doing that. So I'll run a poll here in a little bit, and we'll see if I'll leave this up for you too, by the way. I'll leave this up for you to look at on the bottom left-hand side. And we'll run a poll here this morning, and we'll ask you guys if you think it's unwarranted to not think this is the bottom. Is it unwarranted? Are your thoughts that, yeah, we're going to break through that downward momentum, bull market's back on, we're looking behind us on Jerome Powell, and situation normal, we're going to run hard and heavy into Q4. No, I sell zero dates. If I'm up, I sell them on the open, and then I renegotiate the trade every single time. Never do I leave them on. So you guys want to know about zero dates and me? This is a rule that I never break. If I hold a zero date overnight, I take them on the bell every time. Right? Well, not right on the bell, about 5 seconds to 30 seconds after, and then I renegotiate the trade. I look at it, well, for a bunch of reasons too. I used to not do that, and sometimes we would languish on the open, and they would reprice my options. We would still go up, but I wouldn't realize that profit because they're such short dated that they're directional only. So if it goes in the direction I want them to go in, I take the money off every time, and then I renegotiate. If I was in some weeklies or some monthlies, I would have left them on the opening bell, but not on zero dates. It's overnight, hold them. The only time I hold them overnight or the next day is if they've burned. So if I bought an option for like $1 yesterday and I sold them this morning or I woke up this morning and they were worth 10 cents, I'd leave those on because they fucking took all my money, right? On the off chance, or maybe DCA those if there's even an off chance of going back up. But 0 dates, I take them on the open, and then I renegotiate that open once more. So if I buy an option for 25 cents, and on the opening bell they're worth 30 cents, I take that money off the table, and then I go back in and look, especially if they're kind of like up or whatever, and I'll buy cheaper options. A big thing on our show here is people I think this is how they trade, but I tend to take the money and run. I don't double down, triple down, quadruple down, hold for 6 days, or, like an option goes from like 25 cents to $6. I'm usually in and out the entire way up. I'm like, I'll go in, take some money, and then I'll jump back in, take the money, jump back in, take the money. I'm usually in and out, in and out, in and out throughout the process. Oftentimes when I hold like that on a 0 date or a 1 date, I'll watch them just kill my options, even if we're heading to the upside where we're supposed to be going. If they were more in the money, it wouldn't be so bad. But these are like 30, 40, 50 strike options that I'm buying on overnights. So they have zero intrinsic value. Their intrinsic value only rises directionally. That is it. The moment that direction stops, they lose their value. Yeah, I'm not trusting anything until we're above that, what I showed you earlier in SPX. Unless I see that, I am very apprehensive over the weekend. My alarm bells are going off. My alarm bells are going off, and they don't normally go off. It's very rare that I get this cautious, and I am extremely cautious right now. I don't see, for where we are in the end of quarter, I don't see money coming into the market. We're end of quarter. There's no reason for anyone to go big until we get to the end of the quarter and we start that first week or two. So I smell it. I know it's there. Does it mean it happens? No. But it does mean exercise caution if you're a bull here. Exercise caution. You do not need, like, if you were like Mike Burry, or if you were Tom Lee, you're like Tom Lee here, okay? I'm going to ask you out there watching me, do you have $200 million? Do you have $1 billion to fuck around with? No. So, I'm doubting that size I'm doubting that, like, if let's say Tom Lee was worth $1 billion, I'm doubting Tom Lee stepped in this morning and bought $1 billion worth of S&P 500 or the Qs, right? Does that make sense to you? So there's no reason for you out there to be, I'm long fucking $250,000. I'm letting my whole entire retirement ride right here. Something like that. It's absurd to even think that you would do that here. There are way better places and way better confidence levels for you to go long here. And normally I wouldn't have a problem going long here. Under most circumstances, I'd be like, fuck yeah, that was the bottom. We're off and running. I don't give a fuck about that daily coming down on top of us. But where we are in the year, where we are in the quarter, where we are with Jerome last week, my view, the disaster of Jerome's speech, and then my not trusting banks, because I think they're fucking scumbags, and that, I'll just point blank say it. Those bankers, CEOs of regional small banks, fucking monsters, evil fucking people. So I don't trust them, and they'll exit side stage left at any sniff, whiff, or fart in the wind right now, specifically, if it happens. So I'm gonna hang on that stuff, or hang out and wait and see what happens. I'm bullish here in the short term, but as far as like hey, this is bottom, we're moving forward. I want to get those things done on a higher time frame, and then I'll be more optimistic for the market here. Starting to make the turn to the upside right now. We're just looking for some confirmation. Remember, above right now, starting to break above the half-hour trigger. Next target to the upside right now, 434.56. Give me a second here. I'm going to take up a trade. Hold on. Wait for me. Falling behind here. I wish I had already taken that trade. I wasn't paying attention. It's likely gonna pull back to test again. So, wait for fucking me. You're watching for. See this red line right here? So you're watching for the new high right now. Whoop. Right there. I'm long here, by the way. I'm sitting on 434 Cs. Got a nice clean break of that previous high right here. Very bullish. Starting to get the cross to signal go long. This is very productive. It looks really good. Up 7 right now. Remember this previous high back here. Remember this one. Pay attention to this one right back here. Watch my cursor over here to the left. Should be a reversal on this one right here at best, and then pull back and then go higher. We now have the half-hour trigger on our side, so we have a 3 trigger cluster. Call it a 2.5 trigger cluster right now. So we've got a 2.5 trigger bull cluster looking to head to the upside. We took out this one right here. Gonna slide that one back and see if we can get the power of the half-hour trigger to push us up into the hourly trigger to the upside. See if we can get a nice blast off here. Good morning, by the way. How are y'all doing out there? Happy Friday, baby. I'm so excited for this weekend. I got to check something here before I say what I want to say. There's so many words out there. Yeah, damn it. You know, like, I got to say something. I'm a pretty forward-thinking person, and but so much shit. You know, I gotta be so. When I was a kid, right? We used to use a term. So I grew up in New England, and we had a term that we used called Indian summer, and it's a racist term, and we never thought of it as a racist term when I was a kid, and that's what's happening in Michigan right now. We have a false summer happening right now. It's like perfect weather, everything is beautiful, and we don't always get them here in Michigan. Sometimes it's just like summer and then cold, blowing wind, nasty. So I can't really use that term anymore. I wish I had a term for it, but like a second summer is what I use now for that term. But it sucks because you can't use that shit anymore. Like, you can't say that stuff anymore. And that's what I wanted to say that this morning. I looked it up this morning, and I was like, man, that sounds like such a fucking racist term. And I keep thinking it in my mind that that's what we're going through where I live in Michigan. So I looked it up this morning, and sure enough, that shit is racist as fuck, you know? So I'm like, I can never use that term again. But it's not easy not thinking it in my head. And so I'm like, I hope that young people are able to get rid of that terminology once and for all. I've not, and I don't use it with my kids either. So I think that's going to be a topic of conversation with my kids over the weekend is that terminology and what it means and its connotations in the background. But we have, I'm going to call it a false summer. Michigan is going through right now. And it's awesome. So today's Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's like perfect weather here in Michigan. It's like that 70 degrees, 80 degrees at max, and there's no humidity, and there's a cool breeze. If you step out of the sun, it's cool. If you walk into the sun, it's more like a warm glow on your face and on your arms. So I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend in particular to get outside and do a bunch of stuff. So I want to know what you guys are doing this weekend. Happy Friday. If you're a bear, congratulations. If you're a seller, congratulations. If you took the putback spreads, congratulations on getting paid on those putback spreads. If you're short the market, did you close yesterday? Did you close putback spreads? Did you close ratios? Are you looking for repositioning to sell the market? Do you think that this is the end of the correction? Do you think we head higher now and then take out that 460, 472, 480 to the upside? Yeah, it is. It's very racist. I didn't realize how racist it was. I figured it was racist, and then I looked it up this morning, and its connotations in the background are just fucking atrocious. And as a kid, I never thought that. I never had that in my mind as a child. We used the term freely, like it had no negative connotation that I can recall when I was young. But sure enough, it fucking was. I was like, can't we have anything? Could we have anything nice as a kid? And of course, we can't, right? Yeah. Like there's some of the woke shit I'm not on at all. Like some of it's overboard. Some of that woke shit I'm just like, get out of my fucking face. But some of it I'm like, I have to research it and find out how bad is it? Is it good? Is it bad? And I'm not really like woke. Like I'm woke, but I'm not like, I don't wear it like that, right? Like I live, like I don't know who said it, but there was a comedian that said this to a bunch of like suburban rich white women on a Saturday Night Live skit. It's the not in my backyard types. Like I live in Detroit. I'm very much a minority where I live. Most of my friends are not white. I raise my kids in our local not public, private schools here. But they're local, right? But then these people are like, you can't be like this, you can't be like that. But don't bring them to my nice, expensive suburban neighborhood. And they won't move here either. These people won't move here to where I live. They're like, that's great. Will you move here? Fuck no. You get what I'm saying? So there's like some of it is kind of weird to me. But this one right here, I'm gonna call this one pretty fucking bad. Indian summer. Don't use that terminology. If you do use it, it's not don't, but consider where it comes from, and it's pretty bad. It's not a good terminology. Yeah, and that's the other thing. The old habits die hard. That's true too. So from my experience, my initial reaction is like, I never thought of that like that. And of course, I looked it up today, and I'm like, shit, that's pretty bad. Yeah. And the old habits die hard one. I gotta be corrected all the time. And it's another fascinating thing is, my kids they know I'm not that person, like a bad person or whatever. They know I'm not like an evil, mean person or whatever. But they do question me. I will make comments sometimes that are like fucking boomer comments that I grew up with, and my daughters put me in check on that shit. They ask me like, What'd you mean by that, Daddy? And I'm like, oh, shit. I got to think about what I just said, don't I? And so it leads into discussions. I mean, these kids today, man, these kids are taught in school. They're taught, this is wrong, that's wrong. Don't be like this. Don't be like that. And I don't want my kids looking at me. I remember when I was a kid, and when I was a young child, my parents had thoughts or things they said that were a good example of this is, or a great example of this is, when I was young, my parents smoked cigarettes. And when I was really young, I remember ashtrays in the supermarket. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, but I remember that shit. I can recall it. I remember my parents rolling up the window when I was a kid while we were driving and smoking. And only slowly over time did they revert to, well, we'll crack the window for you while we smoke with you in the car. Well, we'll roll the window down now while you're in the car. Well, we won't smoke in the car with you anymore. And then eventually they stopped smoking in their homes, or in their home, excuse me. My parents aren't divorced, but parents of my friends' parents, my parents, eventually my parents quit smoking. But I know that when I was a kid, I was taught that smoking was bad. And we looked at our parents like they were crazy. We were like, why are they smoking? They're killing themselves. It's terrible. It's killing me. It's killing my friends. Everything stinks like smoke. But these people came from a time, they grew up in a time period where smoking was the norm. Like, you'd have like 6 kids in the back seat with no seatbelts on in a station wagon, and you'd be slamming like Winstons or Marlboros or Camels or Lucky Strikes with no filters on and not think anything of it. And think about that if you're older right now. So if you're like 40s, 50s, think about when you were a kid and what your thoughts were towards some of your parents' belief systems. And so I, of course, I'm now like, now I've got kids, and I'm like, my kids say stuff to me, and I'm like, shoot. I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want to be like the smoker. I don't want to be smoking in the truck with the windows roll. Am I doing that right now? You know, am I going to be the boomer? You quit smoking during the beginning of the pandemic? Congratulations. Come back down right now to check that 27 EMA. So there's the check right there in the cross. So I want to show you guys this right here. Let's make sure you're all aware of what it is. You got the cross right there. And this is considered the check right there. This must hold. If this holds, do you know what the percentage win rate of that trade to the upside is? It's like 86% if that holds. You're going to get paid. That's true. That is a back-tested theory right there. So we're looking for this to hold right here, and then a push higher to trade 434.56. So I don't know why we're having this conversation on a Friday, but I know this is a touchy subject, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, hey, the weekend's coming. I'm excited. And, of course, I go on the internet this morning, and I'm like, fuck, that's racist as fuck. And then it made me think about my parents, maybe think about my kids, maybe think about all those things that I say that I shouldn't say, and how I have to repractice and retrain myself to, not be that person. I don't want to be that person. So even if it slips, I'm okay with that stuff slipping, but I'm not okay with a conscience knowledge of it's inappropriate saying that stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I fail all the time. I fail all the fucking time. I suck at it. I think it's just the intent. Like, I got to try to be better. Oh, yes. You think social media is the smoking of our generation? I read a story this week where they were saying everything is better today. And I'm like, man, there was a time where the internet was way better than it is today. There was like a sweet golden spot where the internet was fucking epic. And yeah, I don't disagree with that statement on the state of the internet today, but and when people are like, oh, the internet's way better than it ever was, I'm like, man, I dug it. There was a really sweet time period in the internet. Up until maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years. No, up to about 5 years ago, it was like peak. And there was also another cool time period too. The early 1990s was an epic time in this country. Epic time to be alive. The 1990s were awesome all around. They didn't have the best of everything, but it was a great time period. They had like raves going on, man, around the world and around the country. They had like kids running around having parties in closed down strip malls and shit. Like young kids, like internationally renowned DJs traveling the world for 16-year-olds with zero oversight from authority figures, from adults. Like adults not involved. There were some criminal enterprises and stuff like mafioso, but you don't see any of that shit today, like you saw then. If any of you guys are party kids from the 90s, there was nothing like it. Nothing before it, nothing after it. Quite like it if you were a kid. I'm in calls right now. I'm on spy calls, so. Yeah, man, the 1990 raves. And the weirdest part of it, too, was the kids from the 1990s were very, like, progressive and very forward-looking into the future. But those kids weren't even aware what was going on in that subculture. Like, there's always a subculture. Like, there's this subculture, that subculture. All these kids every generation has their own subcultures. But that one specifically was way under the radar. None of the normal people knew the extent of what was going on. It was massive, and it was wild. Absolutely, Detroit was an epicenter of it. Abso-fucking-lutely it was. Detroit's one of the famous homes of techno in the United States. One of the famous places. Chicago for house music. And then New York, of course, for their underground party scene. Raves under the Brooklyn Bridge, Limelight, a whole bunch of other places up there. Philly had a scene. Cleveland had a scene. Boston had a scene. Rhode Island had a scene, too. Connecticut had a scene, too. All those places had their own big scenes. Yeah, those are lifelong friendships, man. They go on forever and ever and ever. L.A. ruined it all. I partied in L.A., and I went to parties in L.A., too, and I was like, what? I was like, this is not the scene. It was all corporatized by the time I got to L.A. and checked out the L.A. scene. It felt the LA scene to me was bizarre. I had fun though at the LA scene. There used to be parties in downtown LA in an old broken down warehouse. Those were kind of fun. The stuff that was out in West Hollywood was in Hollywood and LA proper, or not LA proper, like the UCLA scene all over by UCLA and USC. I didn't care for that scene. No, there were huge raves in L.A., in downtown L.A., in Skid Row. Skid Row had massive parties. I lived in L.A. I lived in L.A. and I lived in L.A. in the early 2000s. Maybe not the 90s. I can't speak for the 90s. I had stopped partying out in the East, but in the early mid 2000s, I lived in Santa Monica, California. Lived on 9th in Michigan. I lived right down by the beach. There's only 6 streets in Santa Monica. There's not. I think there's no. There's 6. So that's 6th Street. Is it 6th Street Promenade? And then you just had I believe that where you go up into Malibu, that one road in the front there, Pacific Palisades Highway or something like that. I could be wrong on one of my names here, but I used to live right over by the deli over there, where they have the Godmother and the Godfather, a couple streets away from that place. But desert parties, Benedict desert parties. That's how I started burning too, living in LA. That's how I knew about Burning Man way, not way back in the day. I think the first time I heard about Burning Man was in 98 or 96. It was highlighted in Penthouse or GQ or something. Like 96, 98 is when it started getting more mainstream. No, I know Moon Tribe. I know Moon Tribe. I used to party with Moon Tribe. Moon Tribe's great, man. I know Moon Tribe. I know those guys, or knew those guys. Used to hang out with Mayan Warrior too, but those guys are New Mexico based. Yeah, Bay Cities, baby. Absolutely. I lived not right across. I lived a couple blocks away in a residential neighborhood, and right by Bay City Deli. That place was fucking phenomenal. It's still there today. It's still there today. Every time I go back to LA, and I'll grab a sub there, and hopefully they got some hot bread coming out for me. One of the best French baguettes I've had in LA. Jenko jeans, baby. Jenko jeans. It was the rave scene was wild because you had a bunch of 1980s DJs, like bands had DJs and electronic musicians that were out of favor at that time. Like there was like the rise of rap, the rise of alternate rock, alt rock, right? And like all the glam stuff was going away from the 80s. But then there was this underground rave scene. And this other underground rave scene took in a bunch of musicians from the 80s and then a bunch of rappers. So like hip hop artists got involved in the rave scene, and then like pop punk got involved in the rave scene in the back end of it, like Boy George, KRS-One, and there was like crossover. So you'd be like at an underground party somewhere, and like De La Soul, guys from De La Soul, a whole bunch of like cool ass people got involved, and you couldn't buy a ticket at like a Ticketmaster to go to these things. It was all by like Beeper and all like by Beeper and this like card stock flyers and friend groups. It was all word of mouth. You'd go to a show and there'd be 5,000, 30,000, 100,000 people. None of this stuff legal. They started to legalize it. They started to get the police involved and fire departments and emergency personnel and that kind of stuff. But early on in the 90s, it was very underground and huge. It was huge. And these kids were normally like the nerds in their schools. A lot of they go back to school and no one knew what they had done all weekend. They were like, that's the loser over there. But that loser had a whole nother friend group that was massive, huge, vast, connected group of friends. Yep, still long here. Still sitting here long on that 2070 MA. Yeah, there was a real cool overlap too. And then like of course like you had like a whole culture of like you had a hip hop culture, right? And this hip hop culture didn't know about the rave scene. And once they found out about the rave scene, it's like the rave scene had kept alive like the dance culture of the 80s. And so once this hip hop culture found out what the rave kids were doing, it was on, right? And then of course you like as a matter of fact, Eminem, if you guys know who Eminem is, right? He was like a hardcore rapper, right? If you ever read some of his lyrics from some of his early music, he was actually a party kid. He had that crossover party kid in the party scene. And he would he would sing about that experience, like those experiences that he was having, partying with party kids back in the day. So that was kind of a cool thing that took place in that scene too. Yeah, Moby. I was in a show with Moby with like 50 people in a room once. I kind of like Moby. Matter of fact, that same show Paul Oakenfold was at. Like I was like 100 people in a room, maybe 100. But that's way, 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 way back in the day. Way back in the day. The bass player from De La Soul was my doorman for a while. Yeah, they were a good band, man. They were a kick-ass band. Yeah, I don't like him anymore. He's a douche. He does, I think he was part of White Elephant or something at Burning Man. Now he's a fucking douche. But you know what? When I knew him when he was younger, he was not a douche. I kind of knew him through some other people, but before he was before he became U.S. famous, he had just crossed over, came to the U.S. and started getting famous. I kind of knew him. I hung out with him in a friend group, and he was a cool guy back then. From what I know of him now, he's not very well received by a lot of people. He's like a plug and play kind of guy. Too rich, too wealthy. Can you blame him? I guess I don't know. Yeah, you got bringing you guys back. Douche. He's allegedly. I shouldn't say he is. He's allegedly a douche. Sasha and Digweed, man. Love Sasha and Digweed. That's a big Midwest, or not Midwest. That's a big, like, Rocky Mountain jam, right? Hippies love them guys, too. Or not, I shouldn't say guys, but guy-ish. Yeah, Sasha Digweed used to hang out in Boston. Rabbit in the Moon. Then you got Local 13. That was, I believe, Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia. You got Local 13. You got, who else I remember? No. No, he's a guy. Squeezing up right now, trading 433.79. 434 is trading 72 cents right now. Can we get up there and tag that 434.56 right now? Hopefully you're along with me on this ride to the upside. Let's keep an eye above here. Let's see what we got here for sellers. Where are they? How high can we go? Follow this here, and then you've got one more target above here. You guys remember Bad Boy Bill? I used to be buddies with that guy. Venom, Midas, all those guys, friends with all those guys back in the day. Those guys were fucking... All right, you guys said I can't use D-bag. Those guys, or I don't even know what I should say about half of these fucking people. Some of them are really cool, and some of them were not. DJ Logic. I still have his phone number on my phone to this day. I'm still friends with that guy to this day. Chicago, baby, Chicago house. What else you got? Carl Cox was out there in Chicago. Was Venom from out there or not? Maybe I think Venom might have been. Frankie Bones. If you're a New Yorker listening right now, I used to hang out with Frankie Bones back in the day. He had it really rough. I don't know what he's doing today, but he had a really rough go of it. I remember it at one point. You guys remember who he is? Frankie Bones. Oh, dude, Micro and Icy, knew those guys. I went to their shows. Phil Gifford, don't know who he is. Debo, never hung out with him or anything like that. Micro was badass, though. Micro is definitely badass. Oh, you guys are Farina? Yeah, dude. Is that Paul or Chris Farina, right? Who else you guys got? Throw some stuff out there. If you're an old school party kid, throw out some names. I want to see who you guys know. You guys know who? Do you guys know who Carl Cox is? He used to DJ with like 10 turntables, and he'd be like sweating bullets, be all hot and sweaty. And he took that shit seriously. You go see a set from that guy, and you'd be like, "What the fuck?" How about some other ones? If you're from Denver, used to hang out at a club in Denver called, what was it called? Shit, it was like a martini bar. And Dara hung out there, I think. I think Dara hung out there and a few other. I think Diesel Boy might have hung out there back in the day, too. Don't quote me on that one. Diesel might have hung out in San Fran. DJ Dan, he used to hang out in San Fran, too, in Oakland. He used to hang out with that guy, too, back in the day. Josh Wink, baby. Josh Wink. I remember Josh Wink. I remember that guy. No shit, huh? Yeah, man, Diesel Boy. No shit, huh? Yeah, those guys were cool, man. That was the one thing about that scene. It was really bizarre. So I didn't realize this. So when I was young, right? So when I was young, my brother and I used to throw parties. But before that, when I was a party kid, I had no idea that a lot of these guys, they would do a show, and they would have no friends wherever they did a show. if you just walked up to these guys and said, "Hey man, you want to hang out?" Like after your set, you want to hang out? They would totally fucking hang out with you. They would like give you their number and you'd be like, "Hey man, next time you're in town, I'll give you a shout." And you'd beep them. You'd like send a text to them and be like, "What are you doing? Give me a shout." And those guys were all open doors back in those days. There were some really bad eggs in there, but some of them are really fucking cool people. Hell yeah, you're going to get drunk as hell this afternoon, blast house music. Who's still long here? I'm still long. I think we're going all the way up to that hourly trigger, so I haven't sold yet. I want to see this tag up here. I'm looking for this bad boy right here. Give me that big old squeeze. Yep, BT, baby. I loved Goldie. Of course, so my scene was for dancing, I liked Jungle and D&B. And then I was a big D&B guy. And then I liked breaks, of course. And I loved the breaks. And if I was rolling, I loved like some I can't lie, I liked some trance. And I liked dancing to Chicago House too. Chicago House was like, he was fucking out there. We're like, let's go meet some girls or something. Now you guys are dropping some hammers inside the chat right now. Nice. That's very nice, man. I went to the whiskey once, but it was many years later. I wasn't impressed years later, but like West Hollywood not West Hollywood, excuse me. That whiskey is in Hollywood, right? Yeah, I think it's in Hollywood. At that time, like West Hollywood was cool as fuck. Hollywood was dangerous as fuck when I went there. I don't know is Hollywood still dangerous right now or no? Let me know. Tell me if is like Hollywood. I heard that West Hollywood's kind of rough these days. I'd go to West Hollywood was really fun back in the day. Their Halloween was always awesome in West Hollywood. Is it getting rough as a whole? Is it all of California or just LA? I go to San Fran right now, but San Fran and Oakland a lot, but I don't go to LA as much as I used to. Now I spend most of my time in San Francisco, or not San Fran, or not, excuse me, not San Fran, outside of San Diego. Yeah, like Hollywood was fine during the day. Hollywood proper, I didn't like it at nighttime. Like Hollywood Boulevard, stuff like that. Just waiting to see if we sit here and stay on this white line right here. Don't want to see any kind of failure. If I start to see any kind of failure down below here, any of that kind of stuff, I'm out right there. So now, what's my take on Tesla? Hold on a second here. We'll take a peek. Give me one quick second. I'll look in the background. So just for next week, we've got nothing scheduled for Monday for economic news. On Tuesday, we've got a new home sales case Schiller, consumer confidence. That's at 8:39 and 10. On Wednesday, we've got durable goods and minus transports as well at 8:30. On Thursday, we've got claims and GDP revision. So no vol really until Thursday. Then we got a big boy hit on end of quarter, end of month. We've got the PCE index. We've got the personal income, personal spending, core PCE, blah, blah, blah. All that shit's in at 8:30 on Friday, the 29th. So be aware of that into next week. Now we're now going to take a peek at Tesla in the background here. I'm going to look at it on my end, see what it says. Tesla's looking good. I like it. 30-minute chart here. Let's take a look and see what it says. Give me one quick second. I'm going to have this load up. Tesla, extremely bullish. It's hasn't broken through yet. Let me see if I can bring it up to you. Hold on here. So here is Tesla. Positioning is still short on Tesla, but saying that it's the same setup as SPY was earlier, right? So this is a 1 minute chart on SPOOs. You've got the cross forming right now, right? You see the cross forming right there? It's right there. So you can see it. The expectation here in Tesla would be that we do a cross to the upside. Hold on here. You actually get this cross here, but there is a trap above. Do you see it? There is a trap here, and we'll direct your attention to it. So if you squeeze up higher here, big chance for reversal there, and big chance for reversal right here. So what I like on Tesla right now is to be above 258. So let's take a peek here on Tesla and see what exactly I'm talking about here. So maybe go to the 30-minute chart. And let's talk about what I like better about Tesla here, or what I will like better about Tesla here. And we'll just draw this out. I would prefer to see Tesla break above the hourly trigger and take it long from 258 to 263.66. And then look for that trade higher. Price target to the upside, 270.33. But you've got some traffic in here, right? You have, excuse me, you have some traffic. Your daily trigger, your hourly trigger. If you're able to get past those, listen closely here, boys and girls. If you're able to get past that daily and hourly and confirm that, right? This is a 4 trigger cluster for bulls. Only if you can get up here and hold it. Don't come back to me on stream and be like, "Oh, Cap, I'm long calls. Oh, Cap, it's way down here, Cap. Is it ever coming back, Cap?" I don't want to hear that in the chat. You know what to look for. You want to see that blast up. You want to see 258 hold. It should be very violent to the upside when that happens. It should be fast. But I'm bullish above 258.32. Bullish above 258.32 on Tesla. Let's take a look right here. Still sitting, still long right now. Haven't been told to sell. Still long on SPOOs. Same thing goes for SPY as well. This hourly trigger right here, this one right here. Even if we tag that, you don't want to be long there. You don't want to get reversed to the downside. So here's the hourly trigger right here. You don't want to be coming up here and then sent down to the depths of hell. Whatever this trade is to the upside, you don't want to be long here. You want to see price get above, consolidate, and begin to move higher. Take that trade right there. But otherwise, no for me. Until not bullish on Tesla for that upside move unless we are above that hourly trigger. And what's the target above 434.50? Maybe you want to know that. That's 442.99. 442.99 to that upside. So kind of a magic number right here for bulls. 434.50. This is a nice trade right here. It's a gorgeous trade. So if you can get above that, you can get break above, hold it right there, and then take that sexy trade right there. That's a money maker right there. So Poke Jukebox or Juicebox is asking for calls for end of month markup. If you're gonna do that, I would suggest putting an extra week on them, maybe 2. Try October 12th, 13th. I think there's a strike available on the 13th. You could do that. Put an extra 2 weeks on them, and then I would run them only into. Into that daily trigger or a 21 EMA and a daily time frame. The moment you hit that, I would be exiting. Good question, Poke Juicebox. A little bit of roll right here. Still long, haven't sold. Hanging on to these calls, going to hold them until we roll, and until there is or if there's a roll. In it for the end of the day today, so. You guys are having the stream cut out on you recently. Are you having it? Are you having it cut out on your end, or is my stream like freezing? Like, is my camera freezing, but the charts stay live with you? How is it happening? Like, what's happening with your stream cutting out? Come back down, testing the half hour one more time and the 5-minute trigger here. If we roll below, so watch this closely here. So watch this test right here. If they try to grind us out. Matter of fact, this is where SPY is right now on a daily basis. This is exactly where SPY is right here on a daily basis. So I don't want to see this break below, right? I don't want to see a failure here. So I can show this in a better light. I don't want to see a failure right here. Right? If I see that failure, it's going to signal to me to watch out to the downside. And then we will blast down in the depths of hell here. There it is right there. So you can see it. Hasn't even happened yet. Still long here, haven't sold, just parked, sitting here waiting. See what the result is. This isn't necessarily negative either yet. We've come up here, tested the 27 EMA right here. Coming back down to test the 129 EMA. If this holds, we should go straight up. But if it does blast down or we start grinding, this is the finger trap in here. Any of that kind of nonsense starts happening, any kind of blasting down kind of nonsense starts happening, then that will get stopped out. You watch on your screen or above here, sitting on the half-hour trigger right here. That little sneaky Pete right there, you see it? It's that 30-minute trigger right there. So I'm hoping that holds. There's a little bit of secret support hiding in here, so we'll see if that will hold. Let's check the 30-minute trigger on a 30-minute chart and see. Yeah, I'm bullish here. I am bullish here. Or I think this holds. It's at the 0 line right now. 30-minute trigger's not bullet. It's not like a plus 25 or plus 50. It's at 0, so I'm kind of confident right now that this holds. Pray for me, baby. Thoughts on daily view why ES is noticeably lower than I don't understand what you mean by why ES. I don't know what you mean exactly on that. I have to look at it. I'm winning this week. I'm up significantly this week. I'm up quite high this week right now. I'm actually up. This whole week's been really good. I didn't make a bunch of money yesterday, the day before, but I made a bunch of money early week, so I'm good. Let's see what you guys got here. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Murphy Price. Oh, yeah, by the way, today's Friday. Not bad as it used to be, but it still isn't great. Meat Packin', our Carlo Twilio. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, you mean Twilio or Twilight? Oh, Meat Packin' District. I gotcha. Chewing on bottle caps, rolling face. Do you remember when those candy kids would be out there and they'd be gnawing on pacifiers and stuff like that? Be gnawing on all kinds of pacifiers, crazy shit like that. See if this holds right here. Don't want to see a rejection in here. Don't want to get caught in the finger trap in here. Right? Don't want to get caught in this nonsense down in here. Want to see the push higher. Whoop. Keep on heading higher. Let's see, today's Friday. I forgot I got to do something. Hang tight real quick. Got to go over. Got to do some thank yous here. We got to do some thank yous. Want to give a shout out to Dory C for supporting the channel. Brad A for supporting the channel. One quick second here. What is going on with my fucking computer this morning? And I updated all my shit too. There we go. I also want to give a special shout out to Michael K. So Michael K, Brad A, Dory C. I want to say a special thank you to you for supporting the show this week. Very special thanks to all of you guys. And then I'm going to give some more shout outs here in just a moment. I want to say for memberships on Twitch, I want to say thank you to your homie AJ, Spaceman003. Spaceman003, thank you for gifting subs in Twitch this week. Big Harry Dong. Thank you for gifting a sub to Bear Music Official. So Big Harry Dong and Big Bear Music Official, congratulations. Ultimativo subscribed for Prime for a month, so thank you very much. I believe a month. Fire Housekeeper got a subscription from Big Harry Dong this week, so congratulations to you as well. Scone Zone 21, thank you very much. Richard Romero became a member on YouTube. Dominic Starcraft, thank you very much for what you did this week. Swoosh 24, subscribed Tier 1. Idle Streams, subscribed via Prime. Wasted 111, subscribed on Prime. Scotty H44 gifted a subscription Tier 1 to Mech Goblin. What else we got in here? Little Big Bear subscribed Tier 1. Billy Ray 218 gifted a sub tier to Taco Boy 078910. Billy Ray 218 gifted a sub tier to Bizzer for a month. Billy Ray also gifted a sub tier to Z Brewster 10. APK became a member on YouTube. Bryant Boney became a member on YouTube. Steve M1M1. I love you, brother, if you're out there right now. Nice to have you on the show. Legend X22X gifted a bunch of subs to a bunch of people on Twitch. Thank you, Legend X22X. Caffeine has subscribed on Prime. Chris Alton 19 subscribed. So Rob subscribed. For reoccurring memberships, I want to give a shout out to full-time student XIIQZE. It's Fitzy. Nice name, by the way. Crazy Eddie. Who else? Steve Austin 6 Millie. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Lightbringer 11. Spaceman 003. Joey Donut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In 10 1112 on Twitch. Bebop Beats, Big Ball, Scotty, H44, T-Red Tent, Billy Ray 218, Tadelli, Turkey McNugget resubscribed. What up, Turkey McNugget? Appreciate that. Dude, Legend X22X basically gave everybody a free sub on Twitch. So big shout out to him again one more time. Rap28, Nen7 Lead Farmer. Who else we got here? G Dad Gold, Green Man 1984. My wife is healthy. I think that's all of them down there. I also want to give a shout out for donations that are not covered by PayPal. Troy, thank you very much. Ox True Sight. What's going on? All right, what else we got going on here? Yeah, we got some good usernames and all those subscriptions and memberships. On what else we got for you today? So it is Friday. We're gonna give you a review of what to expect for next week, coming up in the next hour or so. What do I expect into next week? For end of month, of the end of quarter, of the triple, quadruple witching. What the expectation would be into next week and the end of that time period. We're also going to talk about beta testing the tool. I should have that back today. I think I have it back today at some point, possibly over the weekend. So you should see more beta testing between now and Monday. So if you think you're in that group of beta testing of the tool, that should be coming out again to you shortly. Should get re-released to you between now and then. It's possible I can get it done while we're streaming today. So we'll take a look at it and see if we can get some more invites going to test that tool out. What else do I have for you? Make sure you're inside the Discord. Make sure you're following on Twitch or on Twitter at Captain's Alpha. And what else I got for you today? I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you. We're wrapping up the week. It's good. It's been a good week. So yeah, I got a bunch of testers right now. So I'm trying to get these. I want to get this stuff tested. Finally, like finish testing and get it out to you guys in the next week or so. So I'm looking forward to it. Oh, one other cool thing. The stock show is going to be starting back up on Saturday or Sundays in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I guess, from our expectations. And then you should see nightly videos coming out in the next week or two as well. So we got a bunch of stuff coming your way. It's trying to get ramped up and get out the door for you. You went to warehouse parties in the 90s when they didn't even have a name yet. That's when I started going. I started going in the early 90s when they didn't have names. Abso-fucking-lutely. I actually did a Brooklyn Bridge party one time, too. Only once. I only got invited once. But that scene had been going on since like the early 80s or something, wasn't it? That old school warehouse scene. Oh, dude, congratulations, Brad. Brad A is saying, all you boat lovers, my buddy just bought a jet boat. I'm thrilled, like winning the lottery for me. Are you going to bring the beer or the gas money, Brad? It's still cheaper if you do that. You know that, right? You live in Florida now? Right on. I never, was Florida big for party scene? I don't know if it was or not. I think it might have been, but, I think I can recall it, but I don't recall. I think I may recall DJs that came up from Florida, but I wasn't a part of that Florida scene at all. Congratulations, Brad. You got a free boat, dude. You don't have to do any maintenance on it. You don't have to do any of the insurance, any of the licensing. You don't have to take care of anything but the gas, dude. It's like one of the best things you can do in the world. Is not actually own the boat. Did I ever party up in Deer Valley? Yes, I did. I did party up in Deer Valley many times. Deer Valley is a fucking blast. It's a good question. You ever party up in Deer Valley when you lived in PC? Yeah. So I think I lived in Park City during the best years. I've heard it was better. I heard it was better in the 70s and 80s during this big transition between miners and hippies and shit. But the time period that I was there was it was just as so I was there for about 8 years. I think I was there 7 years, 8 years, but it was just as the mountains were being bought by Vail Resorts, I was exiting. And it was the best decision I ever made to leave. Every time I go back now, I fucking hate Deer Valley, right? Not Deer Valley. I hate fucking Park City. Not hate. I shouldn't say hate. I would never live there ever again. That's hard to say, but it's true. And most of the people I know in Park City have moved on the outskirts of Park City intentionally. And I'm not having fun skiing there right now. Those are bad things to say, man, because the snow is fucking epic. The skiing is the best. It's so many fucking people, though. And the high rises they're building there right now are insane. I am shocked at the size of the hotels that they're building there right now. I'm not impressed. It's lost the soul of its town. I know people say that, like people are like, "Oh, dude, it's like Burning Man. It was worse it was better last year." It really was. Burning Man really was better a decade ago and decades before that. And Park City really was a better town a decade ago. Sorry. I remember that too. They call them massives. You guys remember they call them that? Massives. They'd call the parties before they were named massives. I remember that shit. Sundance is a blast. I used to like skiing in Sundance. I used to go to Sundance to party all the time. I hung out. I lived there during Sundance. It was great. If you're talking about the film, or the Sundance Film Festival, that was great. And then Sundance the Mountain was great too. You could actually ski there from. You could actually get there from the back side of Midway. You can get to fucking Deer Valley from Midway too. If you go up into that, I think it's called the Zermatt Resort or something like that. There's a couple rollovers to get there. I can't do it anymore, man. I can't do the fucking people. I've got a ski pass. I've got a I forget what it's called, Epic Ski Pass. Squeeze an hour now, trying to get up to that hourly trigger. I've got an Epic Ski Pass every year. I ski all over the U.S. and I don't know how many vestiges are there left. How many like really great quiet places are there? Wyoming still has some great skiing. Montana still has some great skiing. The fucking developers, man. I fucking hate developers. These fucking developers, dude, they go from town to town and then they run for office and like all the ski towns in the U.S. are just going to shit. Then they're building these fucking big hotels. I still like Winter Park. So if you want to have like a soft spot in my heart for a place, Still have a soft spot for off piss like backcountry shit up in Winter Park. Still badass to this day. Yeah, Colorado. So I started in Colorado, in Vail, and then Vail got crazy, so we went to Park City, and Park City got crazy, and we went and did the Santa Fe thing, and then we ended up going to said fuck that, we're out of here, we're going to buy and build houses. Ski towns aren't what they used to be, man. In no way, shape, or form. They aren't better. There's no possible way that they're any better. And Vail Resorts is like the fucking scrouge cancer on all the ski resorts. Straight up, fuck you, Vail, 100%. I used to love Vail, dude. Like Vail, like VR. There was a time when I was in love with Vail, and it was like a badge of honor because what did who had the T-shirt that had Vail sucks? What ski town had was that Aspen that had T-shirts that said Vail sucks? So it was like a badge of honor to ski Vail. Yeah, delightfully crappy towns. That's how I grew up in a crappy ski town, or skiing at a crappy ski resort. So when those big resorts were still crappy, when you could actually afford to go to them and live there and partake, it was a blast. Still waiting for the squeeze up to the hourly trigger. They don't want to let it go. You know what this reminds me of right now? Like Spy. It reminds me of like they take the hedge off at like 3:45, like 3:20 in the afternoon, and we just fucking rocket ship straight up to the moon. That's what it's reminding me of right now, like the slow grind higher. You see this grinding higher right now? Grind. Goes sideways, and then fucking 3:30 we get the big blast up. That's what it reminds me of, at least. Oh yeah, dude. Snowmass used to be chill. Crusty Butt used to be chill. You could go to like, dude, skiing used to just be the shit. Like you skiing, like you could ski anywhere in the, like, some of the best skiing in the fucking United States. You could actually afford to live there, hike, bike, ski, do all that shit. And it ain't like that anymore, man. Ain't like that anymore. Squeezing higher right now, trying to break through to the upside. Trying to get a good fat 100% print here. Come on, man. This is a pretty big fucking, should be a good day. I want to make like $6,000. If I can make like $6,000, I'll be a happy guy. So thanks for following, David. I appreciate the follow. Hey, Fibonacci, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. It's, Cowboy Starfish, what's up, bro? Good to see you too, Darth Moley. That's okay. So T Rent Tent is saying PC was better before the Olympics. I have friends that lived there from 78 ish, 79 until the Olympics, and they lived there past that, of course, but they lived there during that time period, and they all agreed with that. The stories I was told was it was fucking wild in Park City, like fucking wild, up until the Olympics. When the Olympics happened, I was told that like the rest of Utah kind of got involved with Park City, and then the rest of the nation, of course, found out about it. People started visiting. A lot of Parkites, they're called Parkites. They will they still have their volunteer stuff from that Olympics, like actual Parkites. As a matter of fact, so you guys want to hear something cool? My oldest daughter is a Colorado native. She was born and raised in Vail, Colorado, and my youngest is a born and for many years raised Parkite. She's from Park City, Utah. So I got a daughter from Park City, Utah. And I have another daughter from Vail, Colorado. That's where they're from. They're not from anywhere else. And it's funny too, because I'll go back to ski those places, right? I ski Park City every year, but I'll go there every year, and some people sometimes will call me they don't know, like there's a lot of influx of people in Park City right now, and they'll be like, oh, you're not a fucking local, you're a fucking tourist, and I'm like, who the fuck are you, and where the fuck are you from? I'm like, were you born here? I'm like, if you weren't born here, get the fuck out. Of course, I wasn't born there, but I'm her dad, so. I love Brighton too. Have you guys ever skied Brighton or snowboarded Brighton? It's like Brighton is like the snowboarder rat capital of the United States. Some would say Breckenridge is that mountain, but if I had to have like a snowboarder, like Valhalla, it's probably Brighton Mountain. If you're like 16 years old, if you have a son or a daughter who likes to snowboard, Brighton is the word, man. Brighton is the word in Utah. You got to be first chair though in the morning in Brighton, don't you? I love solitude, man. I'm a skier, bro. If you ever, here's an insider tip. If you ever want some of the most epic skiing in the U.S., it's not the best, but it's like top 5. You want some of the most epic skiing in the U.S.? You go to Solitude right before a snowstorm. And while everybody's trying to fucking ski the Bird and ski Alta and ski DV and all that shit, Solitude will be like socked in snow, and you can make new tracks all day long. You make new lines all day long. I'm about to get paid a lot of money right now, so I'm pretty happy here. Go on up there and do your thing, spy. Go on up there, do your thing. Oh, yeah, dude. Solitude on a snow day. Fucking quiet. You hear the guns going off trying to set off avalanches, and it is so fucking quiet there. It is fucking epic. Solitude is one of those, like, hidden gems. Yeah, dude, and it's steep. If they ever do the interconnect, like that, if they ever actually do the interconnect, there's like a plan. I thought, don't quote me on this, but I think the plan is from like Zermatt to DV to PC, to canyons, and then down into those lower canyons where you see like Alta, Solitude, and some other resorts. If that would be my one thing in the United States. If I wanted to see one thing before I die, it would be to ski that interconnect. Can you imagine being out there after getting hammered with snow? If they could put like some huts out there that you could just, so there's, you guys may not know, it's like if you go to like a ski resort like Deer Valley, you can go backcountry skiing. Vail has the Eastville Chutes. They've got Minturn Mile, but like they have like ski shacks out in the middle of the woods. They build them up in the trees, right? And then once the snow gets up there, the snow is closer to them. Like in the summer months, they're really high up. In the winter months, they're above the snow line, of course. But if they ever did that interconnect, and if I could go out there and like ski all of it after a storm, and bring a 4-season tent and a bunch of shit with me, like a stove, and just ski all that shit for like 4 or 5 days, that would be like the most epic fucking thing you could do as a skier or a snowboarder. And like have it be lift served. It'd be epic. Just like Europe, man. It'd be fucking insane. Yeah, I'm at 74 cents right now. I want $1 or something like that, so I'm on 434s right here. I want that big fat fucking squeeze. Come on, baby. Give me that big squeeze, baby. Kind of funny how I trusted that half-hour trigger to hold, right? Come on now, baby. Trading 430, 401. Watch this one right here. 435, 434.50. So print it for me. Break through this weak ass sellers right here. Tweezer reversal right now, trading 434.10 on a previous pivot point. We'll see if we can push back up higher. Give me like $1.40 or something. $1.20. I'll take $1.20. I ain't selling here, guys. I ain't doing it. Ain't gonna do it. Yeah, the automatic pass scanners are fucking awesome, man. You know what another quick kick-ass ski place is? Let me ask you guys a question. If you're a skier or a snowboarder, let me ask you just two questions. So 2 questions. We've got a quick tweezer reversal to the downside. Let me ask you 2 questions here. Number 1, what is your favorite East Coast skiing? I'll give you, there are 3 to 4 appropriate answers to that question. 3 to 4. I'll go with my 1 and 2. My number 1 is, it's up in Vermont, on the border of Vermont and Canada. Jay Peak, best skiing in New England. Hands down. Jay Peak. If it's snowing, there ain't nothing like Jay Peak. They got a trail up there called Green Beret. I used to go fucking flying off it. It was like a 10-foot ledge to go flying off. So Jay Peak, best skiing in New England. Number 2, Tuckerman's Ravine in springtime. Second best skiing in New England. I'll give a close third, not close, a little bit of a gap between those two. I'd give an honorable mention to Sugarloaf and where else? Would be my number 4. That's a tough one. There might not be a number 4. Sugarloaf would be the other one. That's right, Jay Peak. Jay Peak, number fucking 1 in New England, hands down. Number fucking 1. Number 2, Tuckerman's Ravine. That's New Hampshire. And then number 3 would be Sugarloaf. And if you ever skied Sugarloaf during a storm, the walls buckle inside of their lodge. I've been there when the walls were buckling. And they shut down the lifts in the snowfield. I think they called them snowfields. And then my second question, too. Tell me what your top 3 picks are in New England. You list them in the chat. You tell me what you think your top 3 picks are. Yeah, those are all baller fucking places. Baller for the East Coast. And then what else? My last question would be this. If you could live in a ski town, in Washington or Oregon, where would it be? Where would you live? Or would you say no ski town? I want to live in the where's the place where all the kiteboarders or the kiters they don't kiteboard. I don't think maybe they might kiteboard, but would you say no, stay in a surf town, no, stay in a sailing town, no, stay in a kiting town? Where's your best place to live in Oregon or Washington if you're an outdoors person? I'll say it that. I'll put it that way. I'll rephrase it. Yeah, man, but you drink beers at Tuckerman's. You hang out with a bunch of people on a warm, sunny day. Spring skiing day, right? Bluebird skies. Right before the snow gets nice and warm. Get out there early in the morning. Get your skins on. Oh, someone said Okemo. Stowe, someone else said, oh, Tremblant, baby. Tremblant is good, but that's not in the Tremblant's what is that? An hour and a half away from J Peak, isn't it? Tremblant, good. I've heard good things about it. Never skied there, but I always heard great things about it. Waffles on the top of the mountain of Okemo during snow are unbeatable. That reminds me of cookies at hot chocolate. I'm watching this closely here. Sell your fucking puts. Should get some put fuel here. Waiting for these puts to. So what we're trying to do here is trying to get the gamma, or not, the gamma to come off all of those puts into the close today. What's the place out? What's the sister ski resort to Vail called again? The home of the Eagles or whatever, the ski team there. Is where all the rich people. If you thought Vail was rich, what's the ski resort right next to Vail? Having a mind trip. My mind is tripping on it. But they used to have hot cocoa and cookies, warm cookies in the morning. When you get on the lift in the morning, they'd hand you hot cocoa and cookies there. Yes, talking about Smuggler Notch? No, not Aspen. It's in the same town, or the next town over from Vail. Beaver Creek. You ain't rich if you don't ski at Beaver Creek. If you thought Vail was rich, Beaver Creek is like, or not anymore. Montana is more rich than, or Montana is way more rich than like Montana, and there's another ski resort past Aspen that's way more wealthier, but Beaver Creek was always the Wall Street money. Beaver Creek was like billionaire money. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Yellowstone Club. Know that place, too. That's where all the presidents hung out, man. Yeah, groomed twice a day. That's where all the Enron boys live, too, right? Beaver Creek. All the Enron boys lived up in Beaver Creek. They all had houses up in there. A bunch of presidents. I think Rumsfeld had a house up in there. I'm almost positive Rumsfeld had a house up there. So what's your favorite place to live in Washington or Oregon? Anybody ski, kite up there, surf up there, sail up there, hike, bike, I don't care. None of you guys have been up to Washington or Washington or Oregon? Yeah, I'm just kind of running this out, and at the end of the day, we'll see if it prints. I'm kind of relying upon puts expiring here. Long Beach, that's California. Long Beach. Oh, you like Eugene? I wonder about Eugene. I like the concept of Eugene. What's the other small town outside of Eugene? There's another hippie town outside of Eugene, isn't there? Yeah, Liberty Lake is cool too. I like that place. I like Idaho too. How'd I happen in Detroit? Housing. I wanted to buy housing. I came here to buy houses. That was the whole plan. I wanted to be a part of the revival of Detroit. I grew up in a city that went through something very similar to Detroit. I grew up in Boston, so Boston went through a very similar experience. New York went through that. A lot of California did too. And I was like, I want to be a part of the Detroit revival. And so I moved to Detroit. It's been one of the best experiences of my life. I'm very grateful for it. My kids grew up mostly in ski towns and shit, and these past 6 years that we've been in Detroit, they've had some well-rounding experiences for growing up. So I think it's going to serve them well in their adulthood. I've really liked it here. Corvallis, yep. We got friends up in Corvallis. Here's who you guys are saying. Oh, Long Beach, Washington. Never been there. Never been to Long Beach, Washington, Turkey. Oh, no shit. Was it really? So maybe I have been there. I might have driven through there then. Maybe I just don't know about it. Or I don't recall it or remember it. Yeah, Bend. That's where all my buddies hang out, is in Bend, dude. All my bros are up in Bend, Oregon. I've heard bad things about. I've heard not bad, but I've heard that it can get kind of seedy in Bend. Is that true or not? Yeah, Vancouver. Is the water really cold up there? I heard the sailing was good up. What's that? Port Townsend. What do you guys think about Port Townsend? Anybody ever hang out in Port Townsend? Is it a cool place? Any of you guys know where Port Townsend is? It's a very small town. You like Jason? Are you saying Bend is great, or it's sketchy? What does yes mean? I've skied Whistler. I've skied Revelstoke, Whistler. That's a different thing up there, man. Whistler and Revelstoke. Revelstoke is fucking crazy. Red Lodge, Montana. I've spent a ton of time in Montana, but never skiing. All backcountry stuff up there. So Port Townsend is good. I want to go out there and check out Port Townsend. I want to check it out up there. It's on my list. Same situation as before, so just in here. Right, same situation as before. I don't want to see any of this break in here. I don't want to see any of this nonsense down here. I don't want to see any of this grinding. I'm really afraid of this in here. Where they grind out options and then the hedge comes off the market. So I'm going to scoot this down here. The one thing that I don't want to see is like grinding, and then the slip up into the close. So I'm really afraid of this action down in here. I don't want to see that take place. Trying to send it down again right now. This is all a function of killing options for the day on a Friday. This is all dealers right here. All dealers. Murdering puts and then not print calls at the end of the day right here. Let's keep a close eye on this. There ain't nothing down there, right? See that? There's nothing down there. So be aware of this below here. Watch this supply all the way down here. We'll follow my cursor down here. Gotta be really scared of that. It's like a game of chicken right now with dealers. Tag this one right here. Tag that one right there. Tag that one right there. Oh, they're trying to hit every fucking pivot, huh? Every fucking pivot. They're like, tag a pivot, pull back. Tag a pivot. Tag minor pivot, pull back. Fucking stupid watching this. Hit a pivot, pull back, hit a pivot, pull back, hit a pivot, pull back. And we all know it's going up into the close. Like not we all know, but we should get a pretty decent should at some point either today or Monday over the weekend. That put gamma should just roll the fuck off. We should squeeze, but you know how it goes, right? Wait until 3:30 in the fucking afternoon for it to happen. You can. I don't know. You can. I could have been scalping the whole way up here, and I haven't been. I'm just sitting here waiting. Just gonna sit here and watch this all day fucking long. I already know how this goes. I gotta sit here until fucking 3:30, get paid, and then I'm out. Sit around on Friday afternoon to get paid. Orange line. I don't know about an orange line. I can't see an orange line. Between the white and the red. The yellow line, maybe that's a 6 EMA. 6 EMA. Thank you, Permabill Tom. Appreciate the shout out right there, brother. Go light or go. Is that go light 21 or go little? Bellingham is not for skiing. I gotta write that one down. I don't know about Bellingham. Oh shit, they're gonna try to roll me. I gotta watch this closely here for the roll to the downside. There is the AFR right there. There's your pivot. Trying to roll this to the downside right now. They're trying to get underneath this half-hour trigger and try to use it to their advantage. Close that gap down below. And show that to you. Don't want to see a rejection here, so I got to watch it closely. I just loaded the fuck up on more calls for end of the day. Oh, nope, wrong one. HYG testing its 27 EMA right now. Dixie just waiting for a signal for the 27 to come down on top of it. Don't want to see that squeeze. NASDAQ with a quick roll down, has left a gap above, has a bear cross above already formed on the hour, sorry, I'm in the wrong one right there. Has a bear flag forming right now on NASDAQ. Have a roll coming from above at 14,827 on the 1 minute. Trying to roll this down. Be really careful here. VIX at $16, starting to form a base. Tagged 1592. That's a previous known support on VIX. VIX starting to turn around to the upside. VIX now trading above its 27 EMA on a 1-minute chart. Apple parked on its 27 EMA. Don't want to see Apple roll here. Tesla bloodbathing it right now. Market looks pinned to me. Give me another 100 right here. Wait for me. Here. Oh, fuck yeah. Hang tighter. I'm watching this close. I'm buying a bunch of shit here, so I'm pretty scared here. Just waiting here for HYSG to see what it's going to do. Careful of a major roll coming here to the downside. You get the 1 in the 5-minute trigger crossing down on the 30-minute trigger. Could lead to an explosive move to the downside. Very dangerous right here. I have way too much risk on right now. Way too much risk here. Dixie forming a base to squeeze higher. NASDAQ almost into a bear cross to the downside. Be very careful here. Make sure you have stops. Don't like seeing this right now. Be very careful of the downside here. There is a bear cross forming right now on the half-hour trigger and the 1 and 5 trigger to the downside. Expect a move down to a minimum of 431.68 and more than likely way deeper than that. I'm sweating bullets right now. If I get rolled here, I'm going to be down in the week. Come on, baby. Hold. Not as confident on this half-hour hold. Seller's going to try to step in right here and sell this down. I can't have the sellers come in and confirm that. 1207. Seller's got a whole another 20 minutes to break this down to the downside. Oh, dude, I'm sweating bullets here. Be really careful in here. So you get the failure right there, and it'll blast. Now I'm long as fuck here. I have way too much risk on right now. Way too much risk. And I'm going to find out real quick here. This bar right down here is going to tell me. You guys see that right there? This next bar right here, I'm gonna find out right here if this is bad. HYG is parked still on its 27 EMA. No definitive answer here from HYG if it's going to roll or not. Dixie's going higher, but I'm not as concerned about Dixie. I'm more concerned about HYG. VIX coming up into its 129 EMA and a 1-minute trigger right now at 16:30. I want to see a rejection there. I do not want to see VIX squeeze to 1662. Apple holding itself up and heading higher right now. We have a confirmed cross on SPY right now, so be very careful here. We have short positioning, and I'm still long. I'm actually trying to buy dips down here. I'm like adding fucking calls here when I should not be doing that. I'm going against my own advice right now. I'm going to find out real quick here in just a minute. Ain't going to take long. At 433.06, I want to see a break above that. 443.16 too. Hopefully get a double top on Dixie coming up. Apple's holding itself up right now. Apple's given the story that we're going higher, so I'm still long here. Apple, HYG, my only hope here. So I just switched over and looked at Netflix. I wanted to show you Netflix on NASDAQ. I don't know if I did that this morning. So take a look at like Visa, Netflix. So like tech has, it's like Apple looks great right now, right? Netflix looks like fucking dog shit. And Netflix on a daily time frame looks like it wants to crash. And at NASDAQ has not hit its weekly. NASDAQ has not hit its weekly target to the downside yet. And there are a bunch, dude, I got to tell you guys something. There are a bunch of fucking tickers. There are a bunch of tickers in tech specifically, that are screaming crash for their names. Like Netflix is one of them. And then there's a bunch of financial stocks that look like fucking dick. Like they look like dog shit. Like they ain't going to participate. Now maybe Netflix does participate in any kind of like recovery, but I'm telling you what, I like last night at like 9 p.m. I had like a breather. I had a moment to take a walk around the stock market on daily and weekly charts, and some of this market looks like Bigfoot's dick. It does not look pretty. Other tickers look good. Apple does not look that bad. But like Netflix is a prime example of a ticker that looks like Bigfoot's dick. It's just begging to be sold to like $200 fucking dollars. It's screaming, right? It's screaming to me right now to go down to $200 fucking dollars. It's just screaming. It's like Netflix started its run not in fucking October, not in fucking December, not in March, not in May. They started their run like early fucking 2022 to the upside. And I'm looking at Netflix last night, and I'm like, man, that fucking ticker could be like not the death of tech, but it could make tech like trade sideways for fucking a month, 3 months. It'd be like a dog, like the dog of tech. Like just like any outperformance in tech would be thwarted by Netflix. Banks could thwart the progress for S&P 500. Come on, keep on pushing, baby. Hold, 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 hold. Hold, 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 hold. Come on, baby, hold. There you go. There you go for daddy. Hold the fucking line, spoos. Hold the fucking line, spoos. There you go, spoos. There you go. There you go. Keep on squeezing, spoos. Oh, dude. If this holds, it's going to be a good day. Come on, spoos. Give me that fucking put roll off. Don't tease me. Come on, spoos. Trap those fucking bears. Trap those late fucking sellers. Trap them. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Trap these little fucks. Making all that money. I want to take it back from them. I want to take it all away from them. Greedy little fucking sellers, like late FOMO sellers. Give me all their money. Give me all their fucking money, dude. Come on, baby. Turn around these dirty fucks. Come on, baby. You can do it. Come on, baby. I know you're going up. I know where you're going. I know the fucking dealer's got to pay it. I fucking already know it, dog. I already know your puts are fucking burning to the depths of fucking hell. I already know that all those fucking holders are closing. You don't have a choice but to go up. You don't fucking scare me, dude. It's fucking Friday, man. You got to give up the shit by close. You don't have a fucking choice but to go up. You got all the kids out there. They're all fucking reading the fucking scaries. They're all reading the fucking comic books and shit. They read the comic books where Batman dies. Come on, baby. Now trading 44. By the way, while we were down there, I was adding 30-cent calls to that same 434 position. Now trading 44 cents. And I'm fucking tits full of calls right now. I've got 500 434 Cs. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You fucking lying fucks. You don't want none of this, Dewey? I'm like, I do fucking want some of this. Let's get back to that 434.38. Let's get back to the original question. Give me that fucking 434 now. Fuck Christ. Sorry, I won't be swearing. I gotta be quiet here. So much fucking drama. I mean, this, you know what this makes me think here? This makes me even fucking angrier. Like, this makes me so fucking angry, right? That I want to fucking. Now I'm like, I'll just hold this shit into the fucking. I'll hold it to 4 fucking p.m. Get fucked. Now I want fucking $45,000. Get fucked, dealer. I want a year's salary today. So fuck off. Give me my money. I'm like, seriously. I mean, like, seriously. Like, this makes me angry as fuck here. Why am I trading against my trigger here? Because it's not just triggers. It's not just triggers. There's a velocity that matters here. Then you got gamma and shit like that I watched in the background. So that's why I'm trading against it right now. It's not just triggers. It's the velocity behind them too. You don't trade triggers. If you trade triggers, you're out of your fucking mind. If you trade triggers, you don't have an edge. You need the velocity. The velocity is where you get the edge. That's how you know it holds or fails. Good question, by the way. Triggers don't mean shit. You need the velocity. Tells you if they'll hold, break, if they're supportive, restrictive, if they'll sell off them, if you'll break through them. It's a very good question. I would not be doing that if I didn't think I had velocity on my side. It's a very good question. You got it. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I can tell to a certain degree, depending upon where velocity is, I can give a fair estimate if it's going to hold, break through, that kind of shit. So like if velocity right now, here's an example. So on that half-hour velocity, right? So the half-hour trigger is a minor trigger to start with. It's not a major trigger, just a minor trigger. But then, so when we were going down into this half-hour trigger, let me show you guys something cool. You want to see something cool? So this move down right here, right? If velocity was at plus 25 or plus 50, this shit would have went to the depths of hell. If it was at minus 25, minus 50, it would hold. If it was at minus 25, it would hold. If it was at 0, it should hold. But like plus 25, plus 50, not so confident in it. Another problem, too, is higher time frame velocities. Where are the higher time frame velocities in relation to these lower time frame velocities? Also impact if they hold or not, if you break through them or not. So if we were on the flip side of velocity, I would not be trying to buy that dip. I would be like, get out of the way, it's going to break, and we're going to go much lower. So, but why am I telling people not to be down there buying? Because it's still fucking risky as fuck, and it's very dangerous. and you're going to lose all your money, and it's very risky. So it's still very risky. No, I'm not. I think I'm on the right. I think I know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna play a 2-card Chicago stud with dealers today and hedge funds that they're gonna close out by 3:45, 3:30, 3:20, and ride this shit all the way up. So if they had done it earlier, I wouldn't. It's like if we blasted higher on the open this morning, if we had like started ripping face to the hourly, I would not be confident. So this just looks to me, what I'm looking at here, what looks to me like they're going to hold this shit to the last part of the day. So they're going to try to grind out all the puts. They're going to try to not pay the calls, and they're going to try to push it up into the bell. And whatever is left over the weekend, they'll kill with theta on Monday. Whatever's left upside moving into Monday, they'll try to kill. And it's also sets up the door for the daily 21 EMA to come down and meet up on Monday. So there's like some function or there's some mechanics in the price of the market that are at play here right now, farther down the road into Monday. Now, if we had traded up to the hourly trigger on the open this morning, like straight up blasted up to it and sold off of it, I would be not buying dips until we were then above the hourly trigger. I wouldn't trust it. But because we haven't traded that yet today, we're likely going to smash into it by close and likely above it too over the weekend. But they're going to fuck your options up because of the weekend, and then we'll have a date with the daily trigger early next week for a major seller or a breakthrough. You guys got Yom Kippur on Monday? No shit. RSI is dog shit indicator. Never ever trust RSI. Not an RSI trader. I used to be a VWAP trader for a time period. Used to like trading VWAP. Don't trade it anymore. This is the most consistent back-tested system I've ever found. Period. If you find a better one, I want to see it. Yeah, you guys are going to get the edge. You guys are going to get it this week, next week. You guys are going to get it. The wild part about it, too, is like classic setups, you can actually see how they get defeated by these like half-hour triggers. They'll be hiding out and stuff. You're going to try to sell it down again on me. They're stinky right now. It's probably some guy in an office at a hedge fund going, fuck this guy, I'm going to sell it down in his ass. Like calling upstairs like, boss, I just want to sell 50 million really quick to fuck this guy up. Him and all his buddies. You guys think that shit ain't real. It is. Trust me, it's real. When I say that shit, you guys think I'm joking. I'm not fucking joking. You get like 5,000 people telling all their friends and shit. They're all buying calls at the same time. That's like fucking 10,000 people fucking spreading around 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand. You make an impact. They're fucking watching. I guarantee it. Yeah, we did the math one day. We did the math. We were like, okay, so we went back and looked like, well, I'll go on like Twitter and I'll do like a 4 trigger bull cluster. and it'll get in front of the eyes of like 7,000 people, 10,000 people will see it. So, like, you figure if I get on FinTwit and say 4-trigger bull cluster, SPOOs, right? You figure 7,000 people saw that, and then probably some of them talked to their friends about it. We have people that we have this stream is rebroadcast in Europe, and it's rebroadcast in blogs and discords. People have asked me if they can restream this. So you've got all those people. So let's say you get like anywhere from 10 to 20,000 people that know that you're long. It doesn't mean it's going up, but it does mean that it impacts, right? It just means it doesn't mean anything in itself, but if I was a fund and I knew that potentially 20,000 people were buying puts or buying calls or short or long, that's scary, right? I would be scared of it. I'd be like, how much money is that? Like you might be trading $1,000, but there is a large percentage of those people that are likely trading $5, $10, $20,000 or more. And that shit adds up, dude, quickly. Very quickly. Yeah, you guys want to know what I do? So you guys can't see all this. Of course, I'm watching Bookmap, and then I'm watching the tool. In the background, I keep open, at a minimum, I'll keep open some kind of news squawk or news feed. I play it for you here so you guys can hear. I use Financial Juice. I used to use Trade the News. They're a great company. They're very expensive. And I don't trade to the news as much as I used to. I'll pretty much tell you what the news is going to be depending on where we are. In the background, though, I do cycle through sectors. I cycle through the S&P 500 sectors. I have some screeners to my right that you can't see. I've got a daisy-chained computing setup. So they're chained together with Elgato graphics cards. So I daisy chain computers together, and on this other computer I've got screeners set up on the wall, and I look at the sectors. Like I'll look at XLF, XLK, I'll look at Dr. Copper, I'll look at oil. I watch the VIX. The trifecta for me, if I had to call it, would be VIX, Dixie, HYG. VIX, Dixie, HYG. VIX, Dixie, HYG. I watch NASDAQ. I don't watch IWM as much as I used to. I watch Apple a lot, or whatever the driving ticker is in the market. So let's say Apple's dying, but NVIDIA's carrying the market. I'll switch over to NVDA. And if we're at inflection points in the market, it's time to check those things. So whenever you feel like you're at an inflection point in the market where we could go one way or the other in a major way, I cycle through those sectors and see what they're telling. Like, are they telling anything? Another key point here too is that HYG is a classic leading indicator. If you were to do a comparison of HYG and SPOOs, you overlay one over the other, you can see HYG divergences in SPY. So the HYG will diverge up or down from SPY, and then SPY will follow that divergence. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot. So HYG, if you guys want something special out there for you, it's HYG. Trading 433.48 right now, 45. Trying to get a nice fat squeeze and finally trade that HT 454.50. The logic behind HYG as an indicator is that it follows the S&P 500, the stock market, quite closely. So if HYG is going down, S&P is likely going down. There's oftentimes a divergence in HYG and SPUs. So HYG is going up, SPY is going down, and you're saying, why is SPY not following HYG up? And I'm bearish here because SPY is going down, but HYG is saying, fuck no, it's up. We're going up, bro. Get long. Right? And the inverse is true as well. If you're seeing SPY cranking and HYG is going down, it's telling you do not follow that money up higher on SPY. Does that make sense? The last part here that has to do with HYG is HYG is dog shit. Risk. It's risk appetite for the bond market. So the old adage of the bond market knows better than the stock market. If people are willing to risk money in high risk bonds, then that's an indicator to you to put risk on in the market, right? What's risk in the market? Tesla, Apple, spec growth, all that kind of stuff. And we went over HYG yesterday too, right? You guys remember in the morning yesterday we were looking at HYG? And HYG right now is, here, let's go ahead and look at it right now. We're going to take a look at something really cool. We looked at it yesterday in stream and the day before, and I think the week before we did this too. And last month I talked about this on Twitter. And I got a lot of blowback for that post on Twitter. I got a lot of like anger from people on FinTwit saying, you can't do that. And the bond market, believe it or not. So the bond market, believe it or not, is the bond market right now is not believing the stock market. And they're not believing price. So let me go to a 1 day here and show you what I'm talking about. SPU's squeezing right now. But I want to show you something important, okay? If you are a bull, I'm going to tell you something here. If you're a bull, I know that you hear me say things like, it's all over for the bulls. They had their run, they're done. The HYG is telling you that is not true. Oh, yeah, man, I'm trading 49 right now. So HYG is telling you, I want you to see this right here. So I want to show you what bearishness looks like for S&P 500. This is HYG, okay? You see HYG rolling down, right? Do you see the break of the blue line with the yellow and the orange line right here? Pretty easy, right? It's pretty simple to figure out here. You see that orange line trading down? You see that yellow line trading down below the blue line, right? Do you know what that's called? It's called risk off in the equity market. HYG is telling you, get the fuck out, right? HYG is just now crossing to the upside, or the yellow and orange is just now crossing above the blue line. When we're below the blue line, it's very negative. We're now crossing the blue line to the upside. That's actually extremely bullish for the stock market. And I want to go further with this. And we were looking at this yesterday and earlier in the week. And we're just getting the normalization of the bond market. I know this is counter to everything you're hearing right now. Everything. And you know what happens when you get the normalization of the bond market, or not the bond market, but the risk-on part of the bond market? It gets very volatile. And these sellers don't want to see this, right? They don't want to see this down here, right? Because this points towards 4,800, 5,000. And I want you to pay close attention to this right here. When you have monthly trigger, weekly trigger, daily trigger, right? And price begins to stabilize here, not just stabilize, but stay above here, the market will rage to the upside. And one of the key factors of this is this monthly trigger being on the bottom. If this daily trigger was down here, and if this weekly trigger was down here, and price was rolling down here, it would be an extremely bearish outlook on the stock market. So let me show you this really quick here. Squeezing right now. If this daily trigger was crossing down below, this weekly trigger was crossing down below, this monthly trigger, right? And price was following it on HYG down here. This would be considered risk off stock market. This is actually a risk off sign on stock market. But we're not at the top, right? So another prime example right here, right? Orange, yellow, crashing down. Orange didn't go, though, did it? Stayed up, didn't it? Squeezed all the way up here. Orange telling you, risk off, but not too dangerous, right? See that orange line, how dangerous, or how that orange line did not cross with HYG? See that big cross right here with HYG? That's huge risk off. Now that you've got that orange line crossing back above, you got that yellow line crossing back above, it's telling you, if you're a bull, it's telling you don't believe the scary stories. It's telling you we're just getting started for a major bull run here, believe it or not. Now, saying all that, when I tell you to be patient as a bull, what you don't want to see here is HYG move up here, close that gap, and then immediately start selling. Right? This would be the S&P 500 rolling back over and down and then getting all those rolls alongside it. Right? So we're not out of the woods yet for that bull story. That bull story isn't being told yet. You know, that huge sunshine, rainbows, and rainbow farts coming out your bull ass is not there right yet. But HYG right now is telling a different story than the stock market is telling. HYG is telling a story of we're going there. And here's something else fascinating. Here's S&P 500, right? HYG is relative to S&P 500 right here. That's where HYG is right now relative to S&P 500. So HYG is telling you, well, we're just right here, so expect a blast up on SPY again. You see that? So like HYG is saying, fuck you, no. We're just getting started on a bull run. That we're not even there yet. So if you track HYG is saying to you, it's kind of like being tapped on the shoulder. It's being tapped on the shoulder and saying, Hey, Cap. I know that you think S&P 500's had a great run, right? Congratulations, S&P 500. And of course, I'm getting scared, going, well, is this the top for a SPY, right? Is it the top or not? Is the run over until springtime of 2024? And HYG is like, no, man, we're just getting started, bro. We got a fucking run to do here, right? Like, we're just getting going. So if you are a bull, that's the one you're watching. If you're a bull, if you're a Tesla bull, an Apple bull, an NVDA bull, if you're a fucking whatever bull you are out there, you are with apt attention watching high yield growth. Yeah, you guys are looking for you guys should be watching closely HYG. If you're a bull. If your thesis is still bullish, if your thesis is still up, you're watching HYG as like a fucking hawk right now. Like you are like all attention on HYG because HYG is the entire thesis for bulls. But bull is for balls. BOLLS. It's the entire thesis rests on the bond market, on risk. Your whole thesis rests on some fucking old fat white guy who's a bond trader. A risk on bond trader. That's not that risky, to be honest, but it's not like the risk of an equity trader. No, man. You guys got a bunch of gamma on your side, too. You guys have a bunch of fucking... You guys have some gamma working for you, too, if you're a bull. You got a whole bunch of gamma working on your side. Then you got a whole bunch of hedge funds that are going to close out and take the money and run. Then you got a whole bunch of fucking, like, they got to unload a bunch of puts to people. They need buyers for puts with fear, and then they're going to squeeze this shit to the moon. So you guys are going to get a Vanna rally. They're going to try to do a Vanna rally here soon. So stay tuned for your Vanna. It's coming. Vanna White's coming to help you out. FX Retracer knows what I'm talking about. Trust me, HYG, if you're a bull, HYG is you're like you should be checking it on the daily, in the morning, in the afternoon. Should be like your like if you crawl into bed and you're reading the Sunday scaries on Twitter, open up your laptop and go look at HYG and see what it's telling you. Because it doesn't lie. It tells you the fucking truth. In my experience, it tells you the truth. Can TLT be a leading indicator? I like trading TLT over much larger time periods and against other stuff. Not HYG, dude. HYG. That's it. There's a couple others you could do, but that's my favorite. Yep. Hold on. I got to check something out really quick. Give me one quick second, guys. I've got I got something I got to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to read something to you before. I got to deal with something. I'm going to read something to you. One of the main questions that is pondered across trading desks on Friday is regarding the state of the consumer after yesterday's sell-off in the consumer discretionary sector. According to Goldman, hedge fund exposure in mega-cap tech stocks is still near record highs, while shorts across semis, consumer discretionaries, and financials are being pressed. I'm going to read something you guys want you to listen to it closely, okay? So this is on that same conversation going back to the fight with Jerome and the banks on the last rate decision. I'm going to read some stuff to you. Well, it's one of the main questions that is pondered across trading desks on Friday is regarding the state of the consumer after yesterday's sell-off in the consumer discretionary sector.
Now at the top of the hour, do get the weekly release of the Baker Hughes.
Turn that shit off because it doesn't mean shit. According to Goldman, hedge fund exposure in mega-cap tech stocks is still near record highs, while shorts across semis, consumer discretionary, and financials are being pressed. So I talked to you this morning about how, like, you look at Netflix and it's like, man, Netflix could drag this whole fucking thing down, right? It started its run way early, and people want to short that shit into the ground, right? Financials yesterday after the close, I went around the entire financial market, and it does not look fucking pretty. It does not look good. It looks very dangerous. Like you wake up on Monday morning dangerous, this Monday, and you have an event just like late July, early August of 2011. There's real danger there. So I want to highlight that for you. I want to then talk to you about Gamma this morning. So implied SPX daily Gamma is deeply negative, minus 1.470 million, and investors rolled puts below 4,300 yesterday. According to fresh open interest data, two Gamma strikes to watch are 4,300. 4,300 is the put wall, and 4,350. The latter represents the second largest Gamma strike and is closely watched by TA sell trigger. Going through some sell side notes that hint at the risk of upcoming CTA supply next week in 0 to 8 Gamma distribution, showing some real risk to the downside, right? That's that 4,350 number. Somebody just mentioned it inside the chat, so I wanted to highlight it. We've got calls. We've got major calls right now in SPX on 4360, 4365, right? Major calls parked there. And they don't want to see that shit print, do they? Major European industry, and then let me continuing on to European indexes. They're trading mixed right now. Barclays lowered its terminal rate forecast for the BOE to 5.25, 5.50. We already know that, expecting the BOE to remain at the peak rate until the middle of next year. While Citigroup only sees a 35% chance of another rate hike. But the flash September manufacturing services PMI readings from France showed an accelerating contraction, stoking fears about the strength of near-term growth. From Asia, the manufacturing PMI in Australia remained sub 50 for the 7th consecutive month of September, while Japan's manufacturing PMI is now contracting for the 4th month in a row. BFJ has made no changes to its policy stance, but both expects negative interest rate and yield curve control policies to be ended early next year. So reading all that stuff to you, you can see that the dealers don't want to print these upper strikes to the upside, right? So they're trying to grind out this expiry down here, right? Don't want to print the downside, below 430. They don't want to print the upside calls that are still parked there. Now, they'll hit those calls. They can hit those calls. They just can't let them print what the original buy-in was, right? And those are at 4360 and 4365. So if you look at SPX, right? If you look down below on your chart, right? I want to show you this. So there's a giant block of calls. So I'm going to bring this up. So this is SPX, right? See if I can put this on a 5-minute chart. So I want to show you this. Let me see if I can bring this to a larger time frame here. So there's a giant brick Does that work for you maybe? Right there. So calls dealers do not want to print. Dealers do not want to print any of this stuff up here. Okay? And then down below, puts were rolled down here. So do they want to print any of this shit? Fuck no, they don't, right? So dealers do not want to print anything up here. Does that make sense? You end up forcing a dealer to chase all this stuff up here. So what does a dealer want to do in the end of the month? Right here. This is what they want to do. Want to park this shit right in here at the end of the month. That's what they want to do. So where is this right here, right? This is a 5-minute chart, right? Big red line right here. If this was SPY, let's look right up in here, right? This here's SPY. Let's look right up in here, and then let's look back at SPX. And where don't they want to print? Look back right here, right? It's right on this one right here, this node right here, right? So SPY. What does a dealer not want to print? They don't want to print this right here, do they? Right? And if they do print this right here, right? So what can we extrapolate from the gamma side of the market, right? Every time we go up here, what is a dealer going to do? They're going to sell down on you, right? Every time price begins to come down, what is the dealer going to do? They're going to buy this, right? And try to push this up, right? If we begin to break above the hourly trigger, right? If momentum comes into play, so we're going to get rid of this right now, right? Here's your hourly trigger. So what am I going to expect up here? I'm going to expect dealers to be net short S&P 500, right? As we come up here, right? Now, let's say we break above, whoop, and we park on the hourly trigger, and we begin to squeeze higher. What happens to dealers here? They become buyers over here. And we start squeezing higher, like major squeezes. Where do we squeeze to? Will be your next question, right? Hold on a second here. 442.99. Let's look at next week here. So today's Friday, right? Here's your end of month right here, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here's your end of month down here. Where does a dealer want to keep us into end of month? They want to keep us right in here, don't they? The longer they can keep us in here, the longer they can destroy. If we break higher than the hourly trigger, what happens? We squeeze, right? They chase all that up to the upside. We close all this out into end of month. So, what is the plan heading into end of the month? The plan is that we trade this into end of month. The plan is also, if at any moment, now one problem we have here is that puts were rolled and not taken off, right? Or like the thesis of like, do we have new money coming to the market right now? No. Do we have fear leaving the market down here? No. If there was no fear down here, then all the shorts and puts would come off and not get rolled, right? We'd have bigger Vanna possibility, right? But they're rolling into new puts below 430, right? More new protection down here. So for right now, this is what you're trying to trade in end of month. Now, the only time you're going to get super duper bullish for a squeeze is if we're above this hourly trigger. So today is Friday, right? So into today's close, my expectation that thicker there, here and here, my expectation for right now would be that the dealers don't care if we squeeze up here. They don't care if we squeeze up here into Monday. All they need to care about is that they're selling this or that they're selling this on Monday. That's it. Does that make sense? So right in here, they want to keep this down in here for next week. So the expectation for next week into Friday would be that we trade this zone right here. Let me see if I can show you guys the this picture really quick. This is your current SPX net gamma for 0 dates, net call gamma, put gamma in real time, right? So do they want to print all this shit right here? Fuck no. Same answer. Do they want to print all this shit right here? Fuck no, right? They don't want to print any of that. They want to be right in here. But as the end of the day comes into play, right? Maybe you sneak up there and print all that stuff to the upside, right? But not until they're worth a bunch less, right? You guys see that at home? So as we get to that close, the expectation from me at least is that we go up into here, right? All that burn up in here, and then I'll wait and see for price if it ever gets up above here. So if you're a trader right now, right? If you're a trader right now, you can trade this up and down all you want. If you're an investor, you can't buy in here, can you? I mean, you could buy with some trying to catch some theta if you wanted to. If you're a theta trader, this is awesome for you, right? So you can't get bullish for the next leg up unless we're up here. So for a trader to be like, hey, I want to trade that squeeze, you're looking for above the hourly trigger, above 454.50, a hold and reversal. Now, what's on your side right now as a trader is, of course, this crossover here. Right up in there. Bullish for you. This is all bullish for you on a 15-minute basis, at least. Right here. There you go right there, right? Squeeze that up. What can a dealer do over the weekend? Can sell that right down right there, right? A failure. Boom, back down again. All right, so on a 15-minute basis, at least right now, trade is higher. You see that slow grind up right there? And what am I hoping for? You keep hearing me say, I don't trust these dealers, and I don't believe these hedge funds. It's right there. Slam right up into there. Don't get bullish here. You need to see price come back down here and then lift up on Monday or something. You'd be a buyer on Monday, possibly. Possibly be a buyer on open Monday, but I would not be a buyer over the weekend. Like a bullish buyer over Friday to Monday or anything like that. I don't want to see that failure over the weekend. Come back in on Monday and it's like, woo, bloodbath to the death. To the downside. See you later, bulls. You're out of here. Fuck you. Hold on a second here. So expectations into the weekend. You ready for it? Expectations in the weekend. Upside price target Friday and Monday. 454.50. I would not be holding long at that number. I would be trying to sell that number. 454.50, trying to sell it if you're a seller. If you want to be a buyer at 454.50, you have to be above 454.50, and you have to hold 454.50 with a back test to initiate a long position to trade. Sorry, I keep saying 454. My bad. 434. Excuse me, I'm saying this wrong. I keep saying 454. 434. You need to hold. I'll chart it out simply for you right here. You need to break above this to initiate the trade higher to 442. I said 452, but it's 442.99 up here. So until that happens, range bound into next week. If that does not happen, I would expect range bound with a top of the hourly trigger down to that 430. So 430 trading range for next week. 430 to 4. Dude, I gotta change this. I gotta change I got a typo in here. There we go. We should be range bound next week between 434.50 and 430. About a 40-point range in S&P next week. If there's a break below 430, if there's a break below 434, you will chase that up or down. Dealers will both chase that up or down. If we break above 434, dealers are going to chase it. If we break below 430, dealers will chase that to the downside as well. No, I'm in these calls until the close. I'm in these calls into the close. And we'd have to break this half-hour trigger for me to lose it. So right here. Yeah, I'm good right now. I'm good. So I want to see a break of this right here. I am not a seller unless we break below this right here. Like anything like this, any kind of breaking, any of that stuff right there, any of that right there, I will be a seller. So we'll move this right over here again. I'll put it right there again. You'll see like a break below. Whoop. And then that down move right there. But not a seller unless we break that. Not a seller here. Even with the double top. Or the triple top, sorry. Even with the inverse head and shoulder bullshit right there. Not a seller yet. Not a seller yet. Would need to see rejection. Would need to see this right here. Did I just delete that shit? I need to see something like this, and then the movement to the downside. I need to see that right there. And then I'm a seller. Otherwise, just hanging out, playing fuck with dealers. That's it. Yeah, there's no break there. That's not a break. You guys aren't allowed to tip your wicks and call that a break. I need to see rejection. Here, we'll show it right here so you can see it. I need to see this right here. I need to see that right there for me to even begin to get fucking bearish here. And I realize this is the second cross. I see the second one. I see the first one right there. I see the first one right there, and I see the second one right there. These are very powerful to the downside usually. This bar right here is what I'm looking for. I don't want to see a big fat red bar right here. Like I don't want to see like this right here. I don't want to see that. So you want to watch this one really close right here. This one really close. This is my pay attention time. So right here, I don't want to see any rejection here. No big red reversal. HYG still going up right now. Coming back into its previous resistance. It's been fighting with all day long, trying to break above right now. HYG resistance is at 74.25. Trying to break above that resistance right now. Dixie floating along sideways right now. NASDAQ rolling over right here. Very dangerous right here at NASDAQ. NASDAQ weak as fuck. Apple breaking below its 27 EMA right now. VIX double bottom. Looking extremely bearish here right now, except for HYG. Trying to plunge this down right now. Be very careful here. Just as before, the same situation as back here. Be very careful here of a bloodbath in SPUs. Very dangerous here. You guys are probably all fucking positioned short here, aren't you? You guys want to close that gap down here, huh? Oh, starting to break right now. Here's my red box right there in the 30. Here goes that first PT to the downside here. Sweating bullets again. Give me one quick second here. I got to check out one thing. I had a meeting that I missed and didn't realize it this morning. Finger on the sell trigger here. HYG with a tweezer reversal on it. Not a good sign here so far watching HYG. NASDAQ looking weak. Dixie looking like it's just in pause mode. Apple rolling right now below its 2070 MA. Not a good sign for Apple. VIX looking very bullish right now. Oh, dude, they so want me to sell right now. It's not even funny. I got my sell set up right here. I'm about to get stopped out. HYG getting rolled over right now in 74.26. Still not stopped out. Still long here. They're like, you want to spend another $800? I'm like, no fucking way. No fuck you way. It just stays there. I'm gonna get stopped out here. One more penny, I'm out. That's it. I'm out. That was me. That's it. I'm out. I just lost $8 grand. 8 fucking thousand fucking dollars. Mother fucking cunt. Sorry. I'm about to snap here. I am fucking down on the week, I think. I'm like within $2 grand of being down on the week. I just got torched. I just got fucking lit the fuck up just then. Motherfucker, dude. Give me one more fucking run at this. $3 grand. Fuck off. Buy that shit. Long again, 434, 12 fucking cents. You fucking cunts. God fucking damn it. I got 265 calls now. You motherfuckers. Fucking, I'm going to scream. I need 5 minutes here. I'm fucking livid. I fucking hate this fucking, I hate this motherfucking, I hate these fucking, I hate Gamma. I motherfucking hate Gamma. That shit's staying on at the end of the day. Now I got a revenge fuck you trade on. I need fucking whiskey, dude. I bought more. I just bought some on this tick right here. I just bought some fucking cheap calls right there. Get fucked. Those stay on in the day. I don't give a fuck. Send it down to fucking send it down to 1,600, you cocksuckers. Motherfucking mother. I need 5 seconds. Give me one quick second. I got to answer this one. I got to answer a meeting that I was supposed to be at about an hour ago. Hold on one second here. I'm fucking pissed, dude. That shit just ruined my whole fucking weekend, my weekend. I'm going to be pissed this weekend. What's going on here? What the fuck is going on here? I'm fucking furious. I'm fucking furious right now. What is going on here? God damn it. What the fuck is going on here? No, man, this is some shit where I want to. Hold on a second here. This is some. Yeah, this is some shit. I want to go outside and chop a fucking tree down. I'm like so fucking furious right here. Motherfuckers. And there's that downside. They're going to break right through this shit. I'm gonna close this whole fucking thing. I'm so fucking pissed, dude. I'm like revenge trading now. I'm pretty fucking pissed here. I just took a major hit right here. Major hit right here. And I just bought a bunch of another round of calls right on this white box right here. So even if they close all this bullshit down here, I'm fucking done for the week. That's it for me. I'm fucking done.